And we are live. This is Party Brawl 4. I am Vesborger here with my faithful colorcaster Aodor, ready to give you coverage for the grand final series of Party Brawl 4, which is going to be Stewart Waiders up against Becky's Babes. So Stewart Waiders made their way all the way from the first round of the losers bracket yesterday, and now they're in the grand finals up against Becky's Babes, who are undefeated in the tournament thus far, having made their way to the grand final through the winners bracket on the first day, which I actually missed. So I have actually yet to see Becky's Babes in action in this particular tournament. Actually got a chance to see them in the first Ice Air Invitational a couple weeks back, and definitely looked like a very solid, formidable team. A lot of fun to watch, but a couple of new faces this time around. So I was hoping, Aodor, you could give us a little bit of an introduction of kind of what this team's journey has been like, kind of, you know, introduce us to some of their players a little bit, at least from what you've seen.
For Becky's Babes?
Yes, exactly.
Well, from what we've seen of Becky's Babes, they've been mostly dominating team. It's a kite running around with those assassin instant gibbing kind of champions, along with the top laner being an incredibly a stable top laner and making some pretty big plays, almost 1v4ing. And then we've got the AD carry not being a true star as we've seen him in the past with his jungler role, but he doesn't need to be a star to prove that he's a stable source of their power. And the jungler definitely coming in big for them. They seem to be really solid right now. No true weaknesses. Interesting.
Well, always, you know, good to see a team that's solid all around, you know, being undefeated in this tournament thus far. And I mean, given when we watched the losers bracket yesterday, I think we got to see that this is not a tournament, you know, that's just a breeze to make your way through. I mean, we saw Stewart Waiders get knocked out in the first round of the winners bracket, then they come around and make their way through the gauntlet. But I think throughout all the matches we got a chance to see, you know, we saw some great plays from all the teams and definitely a high level of competition all around. So to get to the grand finals and be undefeated, certainly an impressive feat. So I'm eager to see them in action. Like I said, it will be the first time for me to see them actually playing in this particular tournament. So I'm excited to see this lineup, which AO has kind of hyped up for me a little bit. So even more so, I can't wait to get into the game. So a little more information on Stewart Waiders. Actually, like we said, they made their way through the losers bracket with the gauntlet. Me in particular, I was impressed with their ability to play around multiple positions, and that's something I've seen with a lot of these teams that have success, is teams that don't just play around one particular player who's the carry or something like that. Teams that can kind of rotate around the map. Something all the successful teams in the tournament so far have had in common: good ward coverage. You know, it's something we don't always touch on so much, but between the supports, the jungler, you know, and not just them, the entire team doing a good job of warding the enemy jungle, getting control over objectives, getting control over Baron, getting control over Drake, and playing around those well. So far, what we've seen is that the teams that win are the teams that establish that good vision control, that good objective control through the vision. Maybe they get some picks from their vision, and then they establish an advantage that way. We haven't really seen a situation where one player just solo kills repeatedly and just steamrolls everybody. Usually it's a case of the jungler helping out lanes, helping to snowball somebody. A team play in general being the difference so far in this tournament. So I'm excited to see that. You know, diving further into that with Stewart Waiders, that was my thought, was that they've really played as a team well, I think. Particularly, we've given a couple different MVP awards out. If I recall correctly, Spax's in the jungle got MVP from Aodor. I believe he got one from me in the previous game. And Lucio as well. He was impressive on the Echo. He was impressive in a Zed game where he was sort of at a deficit initially and then kind of came back and then really had a huge impact on the game and really actually set up some late game team fights with a pick on the Callista there in our final game. So will be exciting to watch, see what we get into there, what kind of champs we see picked. So That's actually where I want to kind of throw it back to you, Aodor. I mean, you've seen some of these champs being played more than once by some of these players. We're starting to see some a little bit of a meta develop, or at least some players have certain comfort picks. Do you have any champions you expect to see or expect to see banned against either team, any of these players?
You can't just ban out any one person from Stewart Waiders, but Lucio has definitely looked incredibly confident on the Echo and has been a devastating force on it. So I wouldn't be too shocked to see him want to look for that, but I wouldn't be shocked either to see any of his other kind of burstier kind of champions, such as Orianna or Zed that he's run in the other 2 games that he has played in this tournament. Another person to look at is CST Galaxy. While he's played Jhin twice, he seems to play a good range of AD carries. So curious to see if he's going to bring what he's going to bring out, because I'm not quite sure what he's going to do.
For sure. Will be interesting to see those picks come out. I know I especially gave CST Galaxy an MVP award for one of his Jhin performances. So definitely a champion he looked strong on, but we also saw him bring out the misfortune. He looked good on multiple different champions. You know, this, like you said, this wasn't a guy that you can just ban out his champion pool. And, the same with Lucio. With the Echo gone, he picks up the Zed. Looked a little bit worse for wear initially, even into the Orianna matchup, which, as A was saying, was actually a pretty good matchup for the Zed. But early on, he was kind of at a deficit. I believe he was 0-3 or 1-3. Kind of a problematic lane, and then he turned it around and came back. And really, as I said previously, he carried those team fights. So I think Lucio as well, showing a varied champion pool. I'm curious, Ao, what are your thoughts? I think what sticks it out in my mind from the previous games was seeing Lucio and Spaxes both getting fed on the Echo and the Jarvan. The Jarvan didn't go lethality like we thought. Maybe, we might see that crazy lethality Jarvan, but his burst was still insane. Did a crazy amount of damage, built, I believe, Warrior into Black Cleaver, still going full damage Jarvan, and then into the Tiamat next, I believe. And definitely was a force to be reckoned with, and he and Lucio's Echo were so ahead in that game. They were doing so much damage. I'm curious, do you think that's where they'll be looking to play around again, that kind of mid-jungle synergy there that we saw in that game?
Lucio being such a stable mid laner, I would assume that would be one of their focuses. Another way that they could do this is to kind of go for Sayonara, because it doesn't seem like either of the teams really focus on the bot lane. Bot lane for both sides haven't exactly been incredibly flashy in terms of the leads that they've accrued. Even though some of the ganks have been centered around bot lane, it seems to be mostly a mid lane and top lane show for both of them.
Does seem that way. So definitely a lot of exciting things to see all across the map. One thing I wanted to jump in on is we see Bilbo Swaggins here is actually in the ADC role, I've been told. So like I said, I haven't actually seen Becky's Babes in action in this tournament just yet, but I was impressed by this guy's jungle play, particularly on the Lee Sin, on the Jarvan, in the first ISR Invitational. Now we're seeing him on ADC. Now, AO has been telling me this is a dominant team, so I'm eager to see how this guy performs in a different role. I'm not sure if he actually prefers jungle or ADC, but I am told he has looked good so far, so I'm curious to see how that kind of develops in this game as well. We know Galaxy is a skilled ADC as well, so we could see a pretty exciting bot lane matchup there between these two teams. But that kind of leads me into, we've talked about how a lot of these teams, a lot of these players really have varied champion pools, deep champion pools. You can't just ban them out completely. So my thoughts wander into, okay, what kind of champions are these teams going to pick? Because they're not sitting there saying, okay, what's your comfort pick? What looks good? We actually saw in a game in the losers bracket, we saw Veigar comfort pick come out in the mid lane, Xin Zhao comfort pick come out in the jungle, and that resulted in both those lanes actually, being in fairly bad matchups, and despite being comfort picks, it wasn't enough. So it seems like what's kind of developing in these tournaments is we're seeing players picking champions for good matchups rather than so much for comfort. Or, I mean, if possible, the best of both worlds, a comfortable pick and a good matchup, which we've seen as well. So I'm sort of looking at, and, you know, I'll throw it over to you, AO. You think there's any power picks, you know, regardless of comfort or not, any picks that either of these teams were really looking at? I mean, I recall Zoe and Gangplank both being bans or picks in most of these games. I mean, any other kind of power picks you think these teams will be looking at?
You know, it seems like Kite from Becky's Babes is more comfortable on the kind of champions that can instantly kill you. Echo is one of those champions, and Lucio has been dominating in 3 of his games where he did go Echo. I wonder if Echo is someone that Kite can play well, because he's played a lot of it in ranked this season, 82 games so far. So it seems like that could be a power pick for either of these teams.
Definitely will be something to keep an eye on. I mean, for those of you who watch the losers bracket, and the VOD is available on Twitch and on our YouTube as well if you missed it. Same for the winners bracket. But if you have seen it or you're about to, be prepared to see some excellent Echo play in multiple games. Definitely a champion that had a big impact on these games, especially getting fed, getting snowballed can be so dangerous. Can just tower dive you, and then Echo ult back out from under the tower. Can do so much, get the electrocute proc. You see this guy practically one-shot squishy carries. We saw that with the Vigar, so I'm definitely you know, you talked about the Echo, and I'm eager to see if that will be addressed. I would be pretty surprised to see it not be picked or banned in this upcoming match. We'll see how much of an impact it has on the game if it does get through the banning phase. So I think one of the things, you know, you have to look with the Echo is, okay, you know, what kind of matchup are you picking it into? You know, if you see the Echo picked on the opposing side, I mean, what would you pick into that? Do you have any good counters in mind that might be able to keep that Echo in check? Because the Vigar didn't seem to work in that last game in the losers bracket, but any alternatives there that might kind of stop him from getting so ahead?
I think my alternatives are a little bit more personal comfort picks than it is rather a hard counter. Due to me playing Orianna so heavily, I know how to deal with an Echo effectively as Orianna. But I can't think of any champions aside from someone... Well, we can always look at the fact that one of the stronger mid laners against an Echo would be someone like a Lux Binding or a Brand, or maybe not a Brand, maybe more of a Katarina, someone who can't be stopped easily by the Echo. So I would look possibly for a Lux or a Katarina.
Could be interesting to see. You know, Katarina is always an exciting champion to see because, you know, how much damage can come out from that champion, but also how much the Katarina can be bursted and shut down if kind of caught out. So definitely a feast or famine champion, which, you know, me personally, I'm always excited to see these kind of champions where it's a question of, you know, will they make the play or will they get caught? You know, it really comes down to their skill and positioning, and then, you know, the way their team plays around them as well. So exciting to see. We're actually just in a champion select, so I will get you guys a shot of that. Should be up on the stream now.
Ban of Alawi coming out onto the Soongale, or from Soongale, to take that away from Sayonara. Definitely didn't like how strong Sayonara looked on that Alawi.
A lot of top lane bans coming out early. We're seeing that Gangplank ban again. We've seen that a lot.
So both of Soongale's top laners that he's presented in the previous matches have been now officially banned out. He's run Akali twice and Fiora once. Fiora almost 1v4ing the enemy team by the lead that she had accrued. So we're gonna have to see what Soongale's gonna pull out, because it's just up in the wind right now.
Absolutely. And the Kog'Maw ban comes out. We know Kog'Maw is a strong pick in the bot lane right now, getting rid of that. So definitely taking away some power picks. We'll see how they play around those bans. But we do see the Echo ban come out. So we talked about how important of a pick this could be. Actually banned away by Stewart Waiders. So even though this is Lucio's kind of, I would say, his most comfortable pick we've seen in the tournament thus far, he just wants it off the table completely. Riven actually being hovered by Soongale right now. We'll see if this is locked in. This could be fun to watch. Just 2 seconds left. Will he lock in the Riven? He does. Excellent. I'm always excited to watch a Riven player. You know, certainly you get their fair share of memes. You know, only topped by the Yasuo in the solo queue, right? But definitely, and Yasuo as well, champions that are really fun to watch from, you know, a viewer's perspective, because they can get so fed, or it can kind of backfire, and it's always fun to see, you know, how much variance you get with the results there. So Shaco and Warwick actually being locked in by Stewart Waiders. Is this a Shaco top Eardor, or I'm not actually sure what we're seeing here. Shaco support?
Well, it's not easy to say. I would imagine that's a Shaco jungle due to the match history of Spax's. But I mean, it's hard to say that it would not be a Shaco jungle.
Yeah, and see the Warwick top there. Definitely some interesting picks coming in so far. I love it. This is exactly what we wanted in this tournament. You know, we don't have to wait till the game starts for, you know, the twists and turns to come out. We're already in Champ Select. We're already seeing some interesting picks. Draven actually locked in by Kite for Bilbo Swaggin. So, hey, have we seen Bilbo play the Draven in this tournament thus far? I know it's a challenging champion. I'm kind of curious if there's one he's comfortable on.
We haven't seen him play it yet, but we have, like, he has played a lot of it in solo queue. So it's not a champion he's uncomfortable with. Well, I shouldn't say a lot, but he's definitely got some experience on it, especially in his recent match history.
Interesting. So we're going to see the Draven and the Jhin matchup. You know, this throws my mind back to the All-Star tournament for the LCS, where we actually saw Draven versus Jhin in the 1v1 tournament. So now, obviously, we're not in a 1v1 situation right now, but for me, this is a really interesting ADC versus ADC matchup. I think if there's one champion who can maybe trade with the Draven effectively in the right situations, it's Jhin. He's got a lot of damage on that 4th shot. He's got the W. If he can use his abilities right, he can actually hold his own against the Draven from what I've seen so far. So, and we've seen that, of course, CSD Galaxy can play this Jhin well. You know, I gave him credit, gave him the MVP award, so I'm excited to see him back on that champion. Diving into the bans here, we've got a Zoe ban that we've seen that ban in so many games so far. Not much of a surprise. A really powerful pick in the mid lane right now. Lulu banned out and Lux banned out, actually by Becky's teams. Do you have any input on that, Ale? Because I know that Becky is actually a huge fan of Lux, but it's actually them banning the Lux away. I mean, you think that...
It's also a comfort pick that Specs ran throughout his games, 3 out of the 5. So it's a takeaway from Specs' comfort support.
That's a good point. We did see Specs be pretty impressive on the Lux. Some good bindings coming in. So the Malzahar ban is locked in from the side of Becky's Babes, and now we're seeing, looks like an Aurelia being picked. So curious if this is a Riven mid you think we're seeing, or what do you think, Ao?
I think we're seeing a Riven mid. It makes sense with Kite's personality of kind of insta-killing mid laner. And interesting that both teams are kind of foregoing the AP aspect. Makes me wonder if that's an AP Shaco top specifically.
Yeah, true. They do have the Evelynn, but besides that, you're absolutely right. They got AD in the mid lane, AD in the top lane, and of course Draven bringing plenty of AD himself. Looks like an exciting matchup so far. Nothing I've seen like this just yet. We've got the Zed, the Jhin, the Shaco, the Warwick, the Riven, the Draven, the Aurelia. A lot of divey, a lot of high damage champions. So this could be pretty exciting. It could be a little bit difficult to cast, or I might say so myself. We might see a lot of champions dying really fast. So We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Final lock-in, of course. Specs picks up the Nami. Have you seen Specs play the Nami before? Or is this a champion? Obviously, with the Lux banned out, is this one he's still comfortable on, or you think this is kind of a step down?
In his in not his last game, but his revenge against Throw for a Blow, he did play a pretty good Nami. Not exactly a playmaker, but he looked pretty good on Nami. And apparently the Aurelia is the counter to Zed. I do think I remember a long time ago hearing something about Aurelia being a good counter to the Zed mid pick brought out by Faker, was it?
Really? Faker brought out the Aurelia in the mid lane.
Or maybe that was more towards an Olaf.
Ah.
But according to the chat, it is a counter to the Zed mid.
Very interesting. I know Aurelia can be a fearsome champion. As some of you know, I'm a bit of an ARAM spammer lately, and I know Aurelia is one of those champions that sometimes seems like she's useless in those situations. Sometimes she's just so dominant with the lifesteal and the stuns, just so hard to deal with her. And yeah, if it is a Zed counter, obviously fun to see. And Aurelia, not a champion you see often in the mid lane, but from what you spoke about Kite, being a guy that wants to just one-shot people, burst him down with damage, certainly excited to see what he does. So we're waiting on about 2 minutes into the game right now. As we've already touched on, definitely some interesting compositions we've seen so far. As I've spoken about in the past, it's always fun to catch these tournaments because this isn't a case of just, the same 15 champions or so being recycled or tossed back and forth between two teams. Like, all the time you see that in LCS with a real specific limited meta, especially on these patches. But in these tournaments like this, we get to see players take out comfort picks, players that are willing to play almost any champion and able to be effective on it. So it's exciting to see just such wide champion pools, deep champion pools, being used. And when you see something like an Aurelia mid come out, and even the Riven in the top lane, the Shaco in the top lane, a lot of interesting picks coming out here, things that I would not have expected. So I'm excited to see these in action. We've kind of touched on the ADCs there. We've touched on the supports as well. I'm kind of curious about the jungle, though. Koopa Star is picking up the Evelynn in the jungle into Spax's Warwick. Hey, do you have any thoughts on that? Do you think this is a jungle matchup that swings one way or the other?
Not in terms of dueling capabilities, but definitely in ganking. They are both, once they hit 6, devastating ganking forces. So I think it'll all come down to who provides the lanes with the best lead.
For sure. I've seen from watching Jeb Stewart Waiders, this is a team, their jungler Spaxes has done a great job of getting lanes ahead, snowballing them, and also helping out lanes that are behind, giving them a hand, helping them to kind of claw their way back into the game. So some great macro play from Jeb Stewart. And from what I hear, Becky's Babes has been dominant as well. You have to assume Koopa Star will be an excellent challenger in that regard as far as not just jungle matchup, counter jungling, but helping out lanes. Might see some 3v3s in the bot lane, 2v2s in the mid lane. Will be good to see. But the spectator delay is over, so we should have you guys into the loading screen in just a moment here. Before we get into the game, of course, we haven't spoken too much about this Riven into Shaco matchup. I'll be honest, I have literally zero idea what Riven top versus Shaco top is like. Do you have any input at all, any information?
If that's an AP Shaco, which I think it is...
Does have the comment.
That will be painful for Riven to get in on there, because the moment she tries to engage, the box will be there to fear her away. And there's just no real hope, in my eyes, for the Riven to truly just assassinate the Shaco. And the Shaco's poke will hurt like a truck.
Definitely not looking like a good time for the Riven there. We'll have to see how Soongale handles it. We know Sayonara is a skilled top laner. We've seen him carry on things like the Gangplank on the Alawi, doing a lot of damage there in the top lane, but those were banned away. Now he's on the Shaco. Curious to see how he'll perform on it. We know Shaco can be a very I would say tilting champion if you played against it in solo queue. You know, it can be hard to deal with. Just spamming the clones. You never know if you're hitting the right one. The boxes, the fear. Definitely a kit that can be so problematic, particularly as AO mentioned for the Riven. You know, he's got the ability to throw the dagger out. He's got the boxes with the fear to really cancel out those Riven engages, so she can't just jump in, go all in like she wants to. Could be problematic. We'll have to see how that develops. But we are into the game right now. For those of you just joining us, this is the grand finals of Party Brawl 4 between Becky's Babes and Jeb Stewart Waiders. We've seen both of these teams perform excellently in the tournament so far. This is our final day of the tournament. This is our final, set of matches. You know, the format basically is a best of 3. But if Becky's Babes loses, there will be another best of 3 between Becky's Babes and Jeb Stewart Waiders. And then, if Jeb Stewart Waiders wins, they win it all. But in this first best of 3, if Becky's Babes wins, then they win the entire Party Brawl 4. And that is based on them actually going undefeated in the winner's bracket, so they kind of get that home field advantage, so to speak. They get that extra opportunity should they falter in this first best of 3. I'm curious, AO, what are your thoughts? Obviously, Becky's Babes didn't play at all yesterday. You think that makes them kind of rusty, maybe? They weren't like Jeb Stewart Waiders, who got in so many matches that kind of got into a groove. You think that's going to affect Becky's Babes at all?
I don't think so. I think there's been plenty of time between the matches that I don't think it'll truly matter. Both teams have the same amount of roughly the same amount of games under their belt. Becky's Babes, of course, having 2 less, but I don't think it'll be enough to truly influence anything. We do also have, I did post up a straw poll in the chat to see what the chat would think on who would win. We do have an 86% vote for Jeb Stewart's Waiders.
Oh, really? Interesting. It's hard for me to pick my own pick because, like I said, I haven't seen Becky's Babes in action in this tournament. I actually only saw Becky and Bilbo Swaggins were the only returning members from the last time I saw these guys in action. So it's hard to know what will happen. And of course, Bilbo in a different role now. But I'm impressed just by reputation alone and the fact that they went undefeated in this tournament. But I did get a chance to see Jeb Stewart Waiders, follow them almost all their games in the losers bracket. Definitely a very fearsome team. Should be exciting to see. So both teams just kind of making their way through the laning phase right now. We're kind of already seeing a little bit of a CS lead in the top lane for that Shaco. He's shoving the Riven in, got a 12-7 CS lead right now. We'll see how that develops. Ooh, Aurelia going in right now. A lot of damage coming from the Zed. Ooh, Warwick is there. This could be dangerous. And that comes out. Flash from Aurelia, and she's out of there. But Summoner used. Flash is gone. Lucio only uses the Ignite on his Zed. Could be dangerous. We'll see if Spaxis comes out for a repeat gank. He's right around. He's looking at Koopa's Evelyn. Doing some damage, but looks like they'll just back off. Not sure they want this. Aurelia's around, though. Kite could be here. It could be a 2v1. Fear comes out. Flash from Spaxis to Warwick. He has to get out of there. Doesn't want anything of that 1v2. Lucio's Zed is not nearby. So actually, a fairly good job by Tsungale on the Riven so far, staying pretty close in CS. But we are seeing him get poked down by the Shaco a little bit. Ooh. Getting some action in here. A lot of damage coming down the Shaco. The Fear comes out. So much damage coming down the Riven, though. She's low, and another box kills her first blood for Sayonara's Shaco in the top lane. So a good effort by Tsungale, but we're seeing that matchup just turn bad. Oh, Aurelia going in on Lucio's Zed here. He has to flash away. So much damage coming out. A lot of electrocutes all around here. No flash from Aurelia, though. Ignite comes out from Aurelia. Spaxis has to back away. Excellent work by Kite there to a 1v2 situation, and he actually forces flashes and keeps them away. A little bit of trades here. Jin kind of getting the better of the push here for Jeb Stewart Waiders' bot lane, but just about even in CS. Let's just see. We've got Spaxis in the blue side jungle of Becky's Babes, doing some counter jungling there. Koopa Star's Evelyn is back at base, so won't be able to respond. So a little bit of an advantage picked up there from Spaxis. Of course, he doesn't have flashes, though. We'll have to be watching that. Will that lack of flash come back to bite them? Will we see a repeat gank in the mid lane? Spaxies is heading back to his Raptors right now. Jin, Galaxy, and Specs continuing to push in Bilbo's, Wagons, and Becky in the bot lane. But not too much action there. Still all summoners available. Some pings coming down in the mid lane from Jeb Stewart Waiders, perhaps hoping to take advantage of that lack of flash on the side of Kite's Aurelia. Actually, pings coming down. They've spotted out Koopa Star by his blue buff. Ooh, trade coming here in the mid lane. Looks like Lucio will just back away on the Zed. He'll get out of there. Both jugglers close to mid lane. They're in the top river right there. Ooh, Aurelia goes in. Lucio taking a lot of damage here, but Spaxy's there to respond. No flash from the Aurelia. She's got to be careful. The Fear comes out, but Koopa Star's Evelyn's right here. Lucio's got to be careful. He's really low. The Evelyn Charm comes out. So much going on the Warwick, and he's gone. Koopa Star picks up the kill. Lucio is so low, and he's going to die as well. Kite picks up the kill now on the Aurelia. So 1-0-1 for both those champions for the size of Becky's Babes. An excellent start. 500 gold lead so far. We heard that Aurelia from the chat. Thank you for informing us that Aurelia is a Zed counter. So far, looking that way. Building up a slight advantage so far. We'll see how it develops. We have seen Lucio come back from deficits as the Zed before, but not against Aurelia. That was against an Orianna. We'll see how he deals with this matchup, which could be problematic, especially now that he's at a disadvantage. Still not too much going on in the bot lane, but we do see Koopa Star's Evelyn kind of around there. Could be looking to gank. There's no vision for the side of Jeb Stewart Waiders. Ping's coming down from the Evelyn. They could be looking to go in here. Gotta be careful. Here comes the advance. Charmed, and she's gone! Specs' dummy is killed by Koopa Star. Now 2-0-1 on the Evelyn, having a big impact in multiple lanes all around the map. Both top laners very low, we're seeing up there. No junglers around. Careful, ping is coming out. Ooh, we could have a trade here. CST Galaxy, Draven versus Jin. So much damage coming out from the Draven. Heal comes out from Galaxy, but one more auto might get him. The flash is not enough. Auto was already traveling, and Bilbo Swaggins picks up that kill in the bot lane. So both bot laners for the side Jeb Stewart Waiders are actually killed, and Draven picks up the kill. He's now got a 12 CS advantage and got the kill over CST Galaxy's Jin. So not the start Jeb Stewart Waiders is going to want right now. Actually a 2k gold lead for the side of Becky's Babes. Some pings coming out here, though, in the top lane. Just some missing pings so far. Cloud Drake is on the table. A decent amount of vision established for the side of Jeb Stewart Waiders, trying to see in those rivers, see the Evelyn coming. Ooh, Evelyn going in. So much damage on the Zed. Wow, unbelievable. He has to W away. Loses about 80% of his health in half a second to the Aurelia. Definitely looking just like the kind of counter we heard you guys mention. Kite definitely looking...
A 50% stopwatch rate, and Shaco is going APs. Built up that lost chapter.
Very true, very true. We'll have to see if those stopwatches come in handy. Zed actually ults in, ignites the Aurelia, but I don't think it's going to kill her. He doesn't have the time to do enough damage. He has to back away. He gets ignited by Aurelia. Warwick is here. Aurelia flashes away. Activates the Fear. Charm is coming in, though. Koopa Star's Evelyn is here. Charm could land on Warwick. So much damage on the Warwick. He's bursted immediately, and the ult from Evelyn picks up the kill on Lucio. Another kill on both the Warwick and the Zed in the mid lane. Huge advantage being built up in these mid-juggle combos for the side of Becky's Babes. Here we go. Riven is going in, but so much damage she has to stopwatch, but you have to assume Shaco will pick up the kill, flashes away, but Sayonara picks up the kill anyway. Could be a waste of a summoner spell there, but now a 2-0 lead for the side of Jeb Stewart Waiders. Shaco in the top lane, so trying to make up for Lucio and Spaxy's deficit, but now Koopa Star and Kite are just going to pick up this Cloud Drake. Nobody there to contest, and they'll be happy to have that.
Next dragon will be Mountain.
Could be interesting to see. Mountain is always a fun one to play around. So handy at taking those turrets and taking those objectives like Baron. Koopa Star's Evelyn could be heading bot lane here, but they have a control ward to spot him out. He's actually going to meet up with Spaxy's Warwick in the jungle. Careful, ping's coming out. Now Koopa Star looks like he's still hovering around. Not sure if he wants to try to go for the steal in this blue. We could have a smite battle here. Fear comes out the Warwick. And Evelyn will pick up the steal, but the Fear comes out from the Warwick, chasing Koopa Star down. So far doing good damage. Great root from the Jin on Galaxy, but the shield will come out from Janna, and looks like nothing will come of that. Little bit of damage from the Jin ult down on the Bilbo against Draven, but looks like Koopa Star will make it out safe and sound with the blue buff. Ooh, ZW's away, but so much damage coming out. Still Can't quite tower dive yet for the side of Kite's Aurelia, but still just a fearsome matchup in there. We're seeing so much damage from the Aurelia. Lucio having to be very careful in how he approaches that lane. So, yeah, I'm curious. They picked up the Cloud Drake now. Is that something that you, how much do you value that as an Evelynn who wants to be, ganking all over the place, running across the map? How big of an effect is that going to have for the side of Becky's Babes?
Considering that her method of getting in there along with Aurelia is not through dashes or leaps or blinks, but through running at the enemy, I think it's huge for the sides of Becky's Babes.
Ooh, has to get the flash from the Zed there. Warwick going in, should get the Aurelia. The fear is enough, and they'll pick up the counter kill on Kite. Lucio had the ult and flash to get away from that damage. Specs actually had to flash away in the bot lane on the Nami. Draven's starting to bully that lane. Still pretty close in CS, but they still have that slight advantage with the kill going over to Bilbo against Draven for the side of Becky's Babes in the bot lane. So they do get that counter kill on the Aurelia. Kite shut down for the time being. Ayo, what do you think? Is Lucio back in it, or is that just a temporary setback for Kite's Aurelia?
I think it's just a temporary setback, especially with the amount of lead that these two have built up for their team. I don't think it's enough, but if they can keep pulling off counter plays like that onto Kite's aggression, they could punish him greatly and equate that lead to nothing.
Will be interesting to see. Both junglers hovering around the bot lane. They have spotted one another. Good ward coverage from both teams. Still, Lucio Zed reduced to almost half health and missed a quick Aurelia combo. He's got to be so careful here. Evelynn is here. Charm comes out and Lucio. He stopwatches, but he has no flash. He's got to be careful. Charm comes out from... Oh, and Aurelia will pick up the kill. So much damage, I can't even get the words out. Lucio getting bursted so fast. Now 0-3-1. Now... Not to jinx things, but we did see Lucio come back from just such a deficit before. But a very different matchup in that situation. That was actually supposed to be a winning matchup for the Zed. Some action here, though. Evelynn taking so much damage, and Jhin picks up the kill. Caught out. That Warwick fear is so dangerous in those situations. Great CC coming out between the Evelynn Charm and the Warwick fear. Some good CC from both junglers. Spax is now trying to have a good impact and come back. Sungale just doing her best to just... kind of go in, do a little bit of poke damage, can't go all the way, and we've already seen him go down 0-2 to the Shaco. Those boxes with the fear can be so dangerous. As Ayo already predicted, such a difficult matchup for the Riven. Can't really engage on the Shaco. Both junglers actually back here. Lucio having to be careful still. Does get the electric proc, good poke damage onto Kite's Aurelia. Will be interesting to see the spot lane now. Galaxy has picked up a kill on Jhin. Ooh, Aurelia could be going in here. Ignite comes out and Zed. He ults. Oh, but he's gonna die to the Ignite. Just barely. Does his best to do some return damage on Kite, but now 0-4-1. Jhin ult comes down in the bot lane. We'll see if this takes anybody down. Janna ult is there to heal everybody up. So just a trade of ultimates there in the bot lane. But wow, jumping back to that Aurelia in the mid lane. Kite now building up a huge advantage. 4-1-2 to Lucio Zed's 0-4-1. 98-75 CS. We'll check out the gold lead in that lane. Actually 2,000 nearly just for Kite's Aurelia. Overall, Becky's Babes has built up a 3K gold lead. So largely concentrated in that mid lane. But in the jungle as well, we are seeing... a 1,000 gold lead for the side of Cooperstar's Evelynn. So, just as we've seen Gem Stewart Waiders successfully play around that mid-jungle combo before, now Becky's Babes are showing them up and doing the exact same. Lucio Zed has to just run away there again to avoid the Aurelia stun just barely. Could have a jungle battle here right now. Fear comes out, but John is there to support. Spaxy's got to be careful. This is a 3v1 right now. He has to Blast Cone away. Ult into Blast Cone. Saves his flash, thankfully. But once again, Spaxy's being caught... outnumbered. Ooh, a lot of damage coming out from the Aurelia. Zed has to W away once again. Has to be so careful to avoid those stuns because the Aurelia will just one-shot him practically. Ooh, Evelyn is here in the bot lane. Flash from Galaxy gets charmed. So much damage coming out. Draven ult comes down. The heal comes out, and it's just enough with the Evelyn ult to take down Galaxy. But here we have some teleports coming down. Shaco is here. Draven is gone. Warwick picks up the kill. Jana is really low. She's got to be careful. So is Evelyn. The chase comes out. Double kill for Spax's Warwick, and a flash comes out from the Shaco. It's just going to be enough. Warwick picks up the triple kill, but now Aurelia's diving in the mid lane. Ult comes out from Zed, but he's still going to be killed by a Kite, who is going to be fine. So a lot of action right there. Actually gets a double kill for the side of Warwick for Spaxies, but it winds up being a 2 for 3 across the map overall. They do get 3 kills in that bot lane, so they'll be happy with that, and they'll rotate to the Mountain Drake and pick that up. Hey, how important do you think this Mountain Drake is to the side of Stewart Waiders? Obviously could come in handy if they're looking at a Baron or some tower pushes later in the game.
I think with Jhin, their ability to do Baron is pretty low already. They don't have a kind of a fast attack speed kind of ADC like Draven would be, or Tristana. So their Baron speed's already low, but I think it's great for the towers, because if they can push down some early towers, they can close down this gold gap that they've been getting, especially since Aurelia has been pushing their mid tower pretty hard.
Absolutely. Have not seen any towers fall just yet, so we'll have to see who will get that first tower gold. Obviously, ever since that's been implemented, it's been a big factor. Who's going to get that first tower? You know, do you use the Rift Herald? You know, do you just put everybody in one lane and just kind of ARAM it, rush it down? We'll see what happens. Looks like we have a lane swap coming in, actually. Shaco is here mid. Oh, getting died by the Aurelia, but he is going to use the clone. Trying to do a little bit of return damage, but not much coming out. So now the Zed actually 0-5 against Aurelia's 5-1 and 2. Goes for the lane swap, wants to play against the Riven in the top lane. Ooh! Shaco has to get out of there again. The Fear coming in handy, doing some decent poke damage, but he's really low. He's got to be careful. As is Aurelia. Both junglers hovering around this lane. We'll see what happens. Koopa's Evelyn is right there. Get some good vision down. Right around the Raptors. So, hey, I'm curious. We've seen this lane swap. What do you think of the lane swap of Shaco into Aurelia and then Zed into Riven? Is that a good move by Stewart Waiders?
Most certainly. Shaco has the tools to stop Aurelia's immediate engage by the Fear, and the AP from it is just going to hurt like a truck. And as we can see here, Aurelia taking a ton of damage from it. Ooh,
Charm comes out, and Zed, though, still can't escape the death. He flashes away, jukes the Riven ult, but will still die to Evelyn. So another gank. Koopa Star, relentless in hunting down Lucio Zed, is now 0-6. Definitely at a disadvantage here. We missed as well a good play from Kite there to stop the Warwick ult and get out despite being a 2v1. So we saw both junglers ganking separate lanes, but it is actually the Evelyn that picks up the kill and the results, and a lot of damage being put onto that tower by Gale for the side of Becky's Babes. We'll see if that winds up being first tower. Zed should get back there in time, but he does not have the teleport. Oh, no, it's going to be enough. Gale will pick up the first tower in that top lane, so that gank by Koopa Star is enough. Meanwhile, Koopa Star picks up the Rift Herald as well. So big win there for the side of Becky's Babes. They're actually at a 5k gold lead now with the Rift Herald and the first tower gold. We could have a... Ooh. Galaxy's Jhin going in. So much damage coming out, though. He has no heal. He's got to be careful. Draven ult comes down, but he'll be out okay. Actually, Aurelia looking here. Warwick is here. Jhin ult comes out. Jana should be gone, and the Jhin ult will pick it up. But they got to be careful. Aurelia's right there. Could be looking for the counter kill. Exhaust comes down. Oh, she's diving the Jhin, but actually just barely kills him. Now the stun comes out, and Nami so much damage. Nami has to flash away. Looks like she'll be fine, but Warwick now in a 1v2 situation. Shaco is here to join. Aurelia actually gets the double kill on the Nami. So much damage coming down, and now the Warwick is killed as well. Shaco doing his best. Fear from both Shaco and Warwick, but not enough damage. Evelyn could be looking for a dive here. No, she'll back away. You have to imagine, it looks like this will be it. She'll just take care of the clone. A lot of damage coming out, though. Actually, Koopa Star's Evelyn almost killed by just the Shaco clone alone, but will make it out. Overall, a 0-4-3 trade. Becky's Babes increasing their lead to 6k gold and picking up 3 kills in that bot lane. Definitely swinging things in their favor right now. Lucio Zed trading with Gale's Riven here around the jungle, but we're seeing that vision creep in. They've already got wards on the side of Stewart Waiders' red side. Becky's Babes creeping that vision in. Baron up in less than 1 minute, and they're already starting to push their vision closer and try to establish control there. We'll see if we see some more rotations from the bot lane. So far, they've mostly stayed where they are. Will we see some teams start moving out of lane, try to contest some turrets as a team? Will be something to watch.
So looking at the next ocean that's coming up, the Ocean Dragon, and we see Baron coming up in about 15 seconds. I wonder which one they're going to be prioritizing, because I can only imagine a Baron buff may be what Becky's Babes is looking for to really skyrocket their lead even further.
Absolutely. Already having a 6k gold lead is extremely impressive, but just as you're saying, a Baron would really give them a huge advantage and let them kind of pick up some towers. Still towers only 1-0. Mostly just the 14-8 in kills right now. Ooh, there's some action here. Really going in. So much damage going on the Shaco now, though. Sayonara could be looking for a kill. Oh, we gotta be careful. Flash comes in. Ignite comes in from Aurelia. And the shutdown comes out from the Shaco. He will flash, but still get picked up by the Evelyn, who actually ults away. Warwick's on the hunt, flashes, ults, and the smite is enough to kill the Evelyn. So a lot of action there in the mid lane. Winds up being a 1-for-2. Sayonara's Shaco died. Could have some action here in the top lane, though. Ult comes out, stun from Riven. Oh, action in the bottom lane as well. Flash away from the Jhin, heal as well. Lucio's got the health advantage down on Gale, but he's got to be careful. Flash from the Riven, stun, so much damage coming out, and oh, it's going to be just enough. Lucio's ult in Q, or auto in Q is enough to kill the Riven. So much action we're seeing here, but overall, Stewart Waiders has got to be happy with that. Closes the gold lead to 5k, gets a shutdown on both Koopa and Kite, who were both very ahead. And Soongale's Riven killed as well by the Zed. Finally get a kill on the Lucio's Zed. He's got to be feeling good. Maybe get a little bit of that confidence back. See if he's looking to make another Zed comeback, because we've seen him make before. Once again, Summoners being traded in the bot lane by Galaxy and Bilbo Swaggins. Not a lot happening in the 2v2 there. It's mostly been when the junglers around, which we're seeing once again.
Snake in the Dragon.
He is indeed. Meanwhile, Rift Herald summoned in the bot lane by Koopa Star's Evelyn. We'll see if they look to push down this turret. They got to be careful. Mid lane turret is very low here. And Warwick will pick up that Ocean Drake for the side of Stewart Waiders. So be happy to have that. Could have a team fight here. The Rift Herald is going to do a lot of damage on this bot lane tower, but Galaxy is there. They're wave clearing as best they can. 4v4 hovering around. Shaco and Aurelia still in the mid lane. Now Lucio's Zed is heading up at the bot river. Both teams just kind of looking for an opportunity right now. Koopa Star is right there. Galaxy has no summoner. He's got to be careful. He actually gets charmed and he's gone. Good Nami ult, but so much damage. And Galaxy's Jhin is popped immediately. Spax's Inspect not enough to save the Jhin. That Evelyn charm, once again, so problematic. Now Koopa Star, 8-3 on the Evelyn. Ayo, I'm starting to see why you ban this champion so often.
Oh yeah, every game. She'll never exist in my games.
Worth noting, Sayonara is actually 3-1-3 on the Shaco with 174 CS. Looking good there on the Shaco, but still a huge advantage for Kite in the mid lane on the Aurelia and Koopa Star's Evelyn. Could have some action here, though. Zed is here and Shaco. So much damage comes down, and Aurelia is bursted down. Too much damage, and Evelyn will back away. Under tower, it looks like they can't afford to dive her just yet, so they get another kill down onto Kite's Aurelia, doing their best to keep that Aurelia in check. But meanwhile, Riven is pushing top lane. No one to answer right now. Looks like Lucio's Zed will head that direction. Pink's coming out. Spaxy's Warwick is invading. He's got the health advantage. John is actually near the mid lane. Draven heading up. Spaxy's could be in trouble here if they see him. He gets some vision down and backs away. Ooh, Yomu's Popeye Soongale's Riven could be looking for a dive here. Actually just runs right past the Zed. Jumps back, stuns him. So much damage. Zed has to flash away. Lucio doing his best to do some damage. And he gets him! Once again, Lucio with the outplay on the Soongale's Riven. Impressive job there.
That was a beautiful, beautiful Zed play.
Absolutely. This guy once again showing he is not easily tilted, able to make those comebacks. He's now 2-6-2 on the Zed. Looking to get further and further back in this game. Ooh, but Spaxy's Warrior could be caught out here. A lot of damage coming out from the Jhin, though. All comes out into Draven. So much damage. Johnny Shield is there. Stopwatch is there. Galaxy is just there waiting. And Warwick picks up the kill. So much damage coming out. Warwick is still taking tower echoes. He's got to be careful. He's going to be gone. Galaxy is on the chase here. Gets the root into Evelynn. She's got to be careful. Heal comes out from Galaxy's Jhin. Still chasing, but not able to pick up the kills just yet. Got to be careful. Aurelia's right there. So is the tower aggro. I'm going to jump on the Nami. Flashes away, but the tower is enough. Jhin doing his best to take the Evelynn down, but not quite enough. Double kill actually picked up by Couch Aurelia. So every time they get a kill on that Aurelia, still just getting more kills for the side of Kite, for the side of Becky's babes. Sayonara does go down and pick up a kill on Becky herself. Kill the Janna, and once again, that Shaco still getting a sizable advantage, but it's a battle of advantages here. Shaco and Warwick not comparable to the side of Becky's babes, Koopa and Kite right now. Riven once again looking for a fight against Lucio Zed. Got to be careful here. A lot of damage coming out from the Zed. Misses the stun. Trade coming out. So much from the Zed, and the Ignite is enough. Riven ult does not connect, and Lucio will get another kill onto the Riven. Ayo, like you said, that lane swap is looking fantastic right now with both Sayonara's Shaco and Lucio's Zed building up their gold and really turning things around so far. They still have a 6k gold lead for the side of Becky's babes, but that lane swap looks like a good call. Lucio's Zed really starting to claw his way back into this game now. We'll see what else he does.
So with the next dragon that's coming up, there will be another mountain dragon that we're going to be looking forward to. Plenty of ward control coming out through for the side of Jeb, Stewart, Waiders, and perhaps clearing plenty of vision around the Baron.
Ooh, Johnny could be in trouble here. Jinal comes down, and it's not quite enough. Johnny gets out of there. They did pick up the turret in the mid lane, so now 2-2, equalized in turrets, but still a massive gold lead. Well, actually down to 5k now. So Jeb, Stewart, Waiders making their way back a little bit. Still a big gold lead, but they got to be happy considering where they were, you know, 5-10 minutes ago. Who could have a jungle fight here? Koopa Star is a little bit low. He's going to be careful. Charm comes out into Warwick. Soon goes Riven is there. Charm comes out. Warwick is fairly tanky, but between Riven and Evelynn could be too much damage. Fear comes out from the Warwick. The Shaco is here. All comes out onto the Evelynn. Evelynn all comes out, gets out of there, but we've got a Shaco and Warwick. Shaco is so low. Warwick is low as well. He gets ignited, and Zed comes in, gets to pick up a kill onto the Riven, but gets a counter kill from the Aurelia, and Draven is now joining the fight, and Galaxy's Jhin is killed as well. Significant team fight, chaotic one. Oh, and the Proto Belt was enough to pick up Sayonara's Shaco. Really diving here, gotta be careful. Picks up the kill on Nabi, flashes. Warwick, Fear is about to come out, but still a dive. And now Riven's gonna be careful, but Draven will pick up the kill. So an ace for the side of Becky's babes. Wow, the Aurelia just too much. Well played by the Evelynn, and the Draven and Janna responding to the action around the mid lane, around that blue buff, and winning that fight for the team. They only lose Stuhngel's Riven, and they pick up the ace. They'll pick up a free Baron now as well. 9k gold lead. Going to grow even more with the Baron. Now we're seeing a 10k gold lead for the side of Becky's babes. So doing a great job of...
Interesting that Evelynn was able to get past the Shaco box there. I'm not sure what that is. Does Shaco's box not work on those who are camouflaged?
Not sure. Perhaps her ult, she ulted just in time to avoid the targeting to become the untargetable. And that was right when the Shaco box would have affected her. Not sure. We could have another some more action here. Lucio Zed has gotten the better of Riven here in the past, but Aurelia's here as backup. Lucio's dead immediately. Riven picks up the kill. Supported there by teammate Kite, and the 2v1 is enough to prevent Lucio from getting any more solo kills in the Riven. So much damage from Aurelia, just immediately jumps on the Navi and pops specs. Now that Aurelia is 12, 3, and 8. So dangerous, extremely difficult to deal with. Meanwhile, Biblos Dragons and Becky will pick up that Mountain Drake. So equalize the Mountain Drakes, and they'll pick up a turret in the bot lane. Just a crazy push coming here. Shaco, it looks like he's going to teleport to try to stop this. Warwick jumps in, gets the fear, but now Aurelia's jumping on the Jhin. Heal comes out, Warwick ult comes out, suppressed, but Aurelia's still jumping on the Jhin, just barely. Jhin gets the kill. So much effort for Aurelia, almost got the 1v3 kill. Now the Jhin ult comes down, and Warwick will pick up the kill on the Draven. So a 0 for 2. so far for the side of Stewart Waiders. Still trying to stay in this game, but remember, they are at an 11+K gold lead right now. 11.5 to be precise. Still a massive deficit, and with that, Aurelia so ahead. So hard to deal with. You saw right there, didn't pick up the shutdown on Aurelia, but she nearly killed Jin through the heal, through the Nami heals, through a turret and 3 members of Stewart Waiders. That's how ahead Kite is right now on this champion. It's going to be extremely hard to deal with. Really, the gold, actually 4.7K gold lead for Kite's Aurelia in the mid lane. So much damage, and not to take away from Koopa in the jungle. He's got 2.5K up on Dispatch's Warwick. Also a significant lead there. Gold relatively equal to top lane, but again, 2K up in the bot lane for the side of Becky's Babes from Bilbo Swaggin's Draven over CST Galaxy's Jin. So big gold leads across the map. Really only Shaco. We could have some action here though. A lot of damage coming out. Aurelia does have the Guardian Angel and the Janna. Stun comes out. Double stun comes out into the Zed, and he's got flashes there, but Shaco's proto belts away, but it's not enough. He's gone. Galaxy will pick up the counter kill onto Riven, but that is a 1 for 2, which Becky's Babes will happily take. Now the Jin ult comes out, kind of wards them away, but the Baron buff is still up, and they got to be careful that Aurelia has the GA and has the Janna. Janna ult is down, but they could freely dive somebody here. They got to be careful. Evelyn Charm is on Galaxy. He's got to be careful. He's seen that before. It's been problematic. Now just to dance around this turret, just letting the King Minion fire away. Baron buff still active. Not a lot Stewart Waiders can do. They got to be careful at Aurelia. Got to be careful of the Draven. Galaxy poking away, doing their best to defend this turret, and they will for now. But Baron buff still active. Looks like we'll still just kind of see a dance here around mid lane. Nope, Becky's Babes are starting to back away. They're content with that. 4-2 in turret leads. We've actually seen this game not too many turrets being taken too quickly. Some of our previous games yesterday, we saw turrets just melting like every second. Definitely a methodical game from the side of Becky's Babes so far. And credit to Stewart Waiders as well, holding them off, doing their best to make this an equal game and make sure this isn't just snowballing out of control. You saw at the lane shot. We see Spaxy's doing his best to help out losing lanes and try to be wherever Koopa Star is. You know, we've seen a lot of jungle action here. Ooh, another 2v1. We've seen this before. Lucio Youmu's, he's going to try to run away, but the ult is there from the Zed. Still running away, but he's in the middle of 5 members of Becky's Babes. Is he alright? He's still alive, but he's got to be careful. He's on the wrong side of the map. Ping's coming down. Draven ult will miss. Lucio's still alive, but Koopa Star is there, and the Draven ult returning actually picks up the kill. Bilbo Swaggin's happy to get another kill under his belt to his name on that Draven. Actually got Sayonara in the bot lane pushing. Should pick up this turret. No way for Becky's Babes to respond right now. Nothing they can pick up, but Kite is in the top lane. You have to wonder who can possibly answer that besides the entire team with Stewart Waiders. That turret is really low. Meanwhile, the mid lane turret under a lot of pressure. Kind of a 1-3-1 being set up here with Becky's Babes. Could be very dangerous. Evelyn contending with the Shaco. We haven't seen that matchup too much. We'll see who gets the better of that. Both being somewhat ahead in their lanes. But the huge gold lead now, 11K for Becky's Babes. Definitely itemization favors them at this time. Some pings coming down in bot river. 2 Drakes picked up by both teams. Shaco will actually back off again the turret. No, he's staying. Now he's backing. Trying to make up his mind. Looks like he will back. So a bit of a reset on the map here. So AO, obviously we're still looking at an 11K plus gold lead for the side of Becky's Babes. If you're on Stewart Waiders, how do you come back from this? Obviously, it seems like shutting down the Aurelia is what you got to do, but hasn't been possible so far. You have any ideas at all?
I think if Jin gets a little bit more of these kills and the Shaco just keeps split pushing, I think they can do this. They have to send someone strong to go deal with Shaco, because if they don't send Evelyn or Aurelia, this is going to be a big problem. Aurelia definitely not having the success exactly of dealing with the Shaco in the lane, but far more fed to be able to do so now. If they can annihilate the Aurelia or Evelyn, whoever is a part of the team fight, and so far it's looking to be Aurelia, then I think they have a chance to win. I think they have the chance to negate the gold difference.
We'll see if they can. We've seen Lucio Zed versus Riven before. Lucio usually getting the better of this. Riven has to flash away. And Lucio uses the Ignite, but he'll let the Riven run away. Barely defends that turret, but now Aurelia's there. Lucio's got to be very careful. He's seen this 2v1 before. He has no flash and no Ignite. The turret will get picked up by the Aurelia. Lucio tries to juke him, but Aurelia doing so much damage. The fear comes out of Warwick, but the flash and Ignite from Aurelia is enough to pick up the kill onto the Zed. Now it's a 2v1. Warwick here, hoping to pick up a kill, but it's a GA on Aurelia, and there's huge shield from the side of Riven. Flash away from Backseas Warwick, but he's going to be picked up by the Aurelia. Kite now 15, 4, and 10 there. Good trade here. Charms now, and the Evelyn has enough damage to pick up the kill on to Shaco. Great work with those charms for Koopa for the win. He has been phenomenal on that Evelyn, picking up a huge advantage and helping Kite get a big advantage in the mid lane. They're going to pick up the top inhib, and now that gold lead is extended to 15k. Practically insurmountable, you have to assume. Ward's coming out from the side of Stewart Waiders. They only have 2 members left, and Baron is on the table. You figure Becky's Babes will start this up. Not a lot they can do to contest. We have seen Jin's steal Barons before, but going to be difficult. They have no smite. Good smite from Koopa should prevent that, and it will. Jin is not even close. Won't even try the steal. And that is another Baron picked up for the side of Becky's Babes, now giving them a nearly 16k gold lead. You have to assume that the game is going to get closed out, barring an absolute miracle from Stewart Waiders. They're going to rotate over to the Cloud Drake here, pick up the double Cloud in an instant. And now 3 Drakes there for the side of Becky's Babes.
If they can pick up that Elder along with a Baron buff later on, they'll be so fast and so strong that it'll be impossible, in my opinion. Barring some incredibly major misplays and outplays on both sides for Stewart Waiders to come back through that. So I think that's something that they gotta keep into the back of their minds, that they can't allow the Baron and Elder combo from Becky's Babes should they survive this Baron push.
Absolutely. I think you're absolutely right, because we've seen that Aurelia get onto the back lane so quickly, burst people so quickly. Cloud Drake is just going to make things worse. Look at that damage from the Draven. Takes Jin down to about a third of his health with 1 Static Shiv crit proc. Ooh, Jin ult comes down. Draven ult comes down as well. Both ADCs trading ults here. Not too much happening just yet. Both teams still looking for an opening, but wow, Aurelia is here, taking a little bit of poke damage from the Shaco, but the Janna shield is massive with the Aerie as well. This is going to be very difficult for Stewart Waiders to deal with. The Baron push just slowly closing in, tightening the noose. So difficult to prevent. And the charm is set up there on the Galaxy. Got to be careful. Ooh, the root comes out from Jin, but the heal comes out from Jin, the flash comes out from Jin. Ket is still looking for the kill and chasing. Regardless, here comes Zed, picks up the kill onto Draven's Bimbo Swaggins, but Draven will pick up the kill on the Nami just in time, right before. Zed's going to be careful. Riven is on the chase, and he has no health. Meanwhile, they're picking up the turret still. Becky's Baby is content to pick up the turret and the inhib. Lucio Zed will make it out, so a 1-for-1. Oh, but Riven dives in. Not enough damage onto the Jin, though. Jin is on the chase, and Riven is gone. Shaco will pick up the kill. So Stewart Waiders picks up a 1-for-2. Support traded for the top and the ADC. But unfortunately for them, they still lose the turret and the inhib. Gold lead now, 18k practically. And Lucio getting dove here. He ults back, but he's picked up by the Evelyn. Charm comes out onto Warwick. Shaco and Warwick doing their best to fight here, but so much damage from the Evelyn. Double kill for Koopa's Evelyn. And now only Shaco and Jin left. Nami's just up right now. Shaco's pretty careful, though. A lot of damage from the Jin. Janna all comes down to heal up Kite just a little bit. Charm comes out on the Jin. So much damage, and the ult is enough. Gets the double kill. Phenomenal play from Koopa there. Gets the execute on both Galaxy's Shaco and Sayonara's. Sorry, getting that backwards. Galaxy's Jin and Sayonara's Shaco. Wow, phenomenal play here from Becky's Babes. Only Specs Nami there. Stopwatches has the flash up, so you have to assume he'll be safe in the turret, but the Nexus is not safe, and they'll actually surrender on the side of Stewart Waiders. So a great win picked up there for the side of Becky's Babes. Well done by them. We'll go on to Game 2.
Very important to point out that Nami still had her stopwatch all the way throughout that MVP.
Very true. Saved it for the key moment at the end there. Absolutely. Well, overall, a dominant win. I think I would say a lot of skirmishes early on. We saw some good plays from Lucio trying to come back, get a couple of solo kills onto the Riven. We did see some good plays from the Warwick as well, trying to respond to that Evelyn. But overall, just the Aurelia from Kite, unstoppable, and you can't forget about Koopa's Evelyn as well, doing so much damage. We saw him top it off, you know, cherry on the top of the sundae there with the double kill with the Evelyn ult execute onto Galaxy and onto the Shaco. Just a ton of damage being dealt by those two, and overall just a clean win for Becky's Babes, getting a slight lead through most of the game and then turning it into an exponentially massive lead. Great job from them. Congratulations to them on the win. But we're only just getting started. This is a best of 3, and if Stewart Waiders can pull off the reverse sweep in this series, they still have to play another best of 3. So we could have a lot more League of Legends on our hands for today. But before we get into that, right now we are waiting on all the players jumping into the lobby here. I'll put up our screen here, but we have failed to address one important thing, which is, I'll let you start. Who is our MVP from that game 1?
It's difficult to pick between the Aurelia and Evelyn. I know I say that a lot because there's often two people who were incredibly influential. And the inner part of me is screaming no, but I'm going to have to pick Evelyn because she was constantly ganking the mid lane, the bot lane, and just being a terrifying force. Her charms were so key to winning several of those skirmishes that built up the lead that became the game. So I'd have to put it on to the Evelyn.
Agreed. Definitely an impressive performance there. For me, you know, just to be, you know, so we each have a different MVP, right, to spice things up. I, of course, have to give my MVP award to Kite on the Aurelia. Of course, helped out by the ganks there mid lane, but knowing that counter matchup and executing it perfectly to the point that Lucio said, and we know Lucio is an excellent player, but wow, Kite just getting the better of the matchup, forcing a lane swap, getting so fed, really just a menacing force the entire game. Impossible to stop that Aurelia from what we saw. So congratulations to Kite. Great job there. And those are MVPs. So once again, if you're just joining us, Becky's Babes has picked up that Game 1 win. So they're now one game up in the series. We're on to Game 2. This is a best of 3. If Becky's Babes does pull off the win here in this Game 2, they will win the entire Party Brawl 4. And that will be the end of our Grand Finals. Now, of course, we're casters. We have to be unbiased here. But if I you know, if I had to make a you know, hopeful prediction, it might be for Stewart Waiders to pull off the win here, just so we can see some more games, because these have been so much fun to cast, so much fun to watch. I'm excited to see him.
We'll just have to see if they can pull off the reverse sweep here. They're definitely not out. It's by no stretch of the imagination over, but they've got to pull the early game together, because that is what defined Becky's Babes being able to win. The Aurelia getting so far ahead early on, along with the Evelyn, that it just became two problems that they could not handle. The Zed obviously coming back later on into the game, and Shaco definitely holding his lane on his own, proving that he's just as good as Becky's top laner, but need to try to close that gap early if they want to try to pull off this reverse sweep in my opinion.
Absolutely. They got to be careful of that mid lane. Of course, Lucio really, taking a beating at the hands of Kite's Aurelia. They got to be careful that they get Lucio in a good matchup, I think. They got to make sure that they don't let that big of a deficit happen again. And we are actually into Champ Select, so I'll take you guys through there. It should be now up on the stream. So Fiora ban coming out once again. We saw that before. Ayo, I'm curious. You think we'll see some ban adaptations coming out from the side of Jeb Stewart Waiders? Anything they want to take out? They want to ban the Aurelia? They want to ban the Evelynn? Do they want to take some of those champions off the table?
I think Evelynn would be a good ban. Not biased at all here. This is true, normal opinion.
Just based on that game alone, obviously, not personal experience.
Yeah, I've never even experienced Evelynn in my games. That's why I ban her, so I don't have to. But I definitely don't think that Aurelia ban is necessary unless Lucio is planning on going Zed once more.
Absolutely. We'll have to see if we see any different bans, because so far we're seeing about the same bans. Actually, the Draven banned away by the side of Jeb Stewart Waiders. So I'm curious what your thoughts are on that. Obviously, Draven doing a significant amount of damage in that last game, but I don't think you could say that Draven was the #1 threat, at least from a bystander's perspective. What do you think of that? You think Draven is a solid ban, a solid adaptation?
I think Draven may have been a problem for their bot lane to deal with specifically, not necessarily a threat to the game's results. Probably someone that they just didn't want to see, especially since he is so annoying to deal with sometimes.
So we are going to see Lucio on the Echo. You have to assume they wanted to engineer that, and they're happy to lock it in for him. We've seen him do very well in the Echo, a big comfort pick for him. Not banned. Actually, we've seen the Nami banned by Becky's Babes. So a bot lane ban for each side, kind of sprinkled into the mix, possibly from last game. Actually, seeing the Nunu hovered by Soongale. We have heard this patch 8.2 called the Nunu patch, and Soongale agrees it is the Nunu patch because he's going to lock it in. Figure this is a Nunu jungle, so we'll see. Ooh, looks like the Azir being hovered and Azir being locked in. So, we're seeing in the mid lane now Azir against Echo. Any thoughts on that matchup, Ayo?
Echo definitely has some problems getting into Azir from what I've experienced effectively. Echo being allowed through because he's on blue... not letting Echo through because they were on red side before, now they're on blue side finally getting him. Perhaps this could have been because Becky's Babe said, okay, fine, you can have the Echo, we're just going to go Azir. And Koopa Star does have a history on Nunu, and of course Spax is having a history on Jarvan. Sayonara not having too much history of what I know in Season 8, but definitely plenty of history in Season 7 of the Yasuo top lane. 170 games played, so no stranger to this champion.
A true Yasuo main. We got to see the Riven last game from the side of Becky's Babes. Now it's Jeb Stewart Waiders locking in that Yasuo, locking in one of those exciting feast or famine type of picks that we're always talking about. Will be fun to see. We'll see who he's up against in the top lane. Kite about to lock in the pick here. We'll see what comes through. And we do see the Riven. This could be the Riven Yasuo top lane. This could be the Dawnbringer, the Nightbringer matchup that we all got to experience, last year in our clients with all those fun missions and new skins. So, Ayo, any thoughts on that Yasuo against Riven matchup in the top lane?
Nothing comes to mind of Yasuo versus Riven. It just comes down to who pulls off their combos better. Riven definitely has a stun to block any kind of aggression Yasuo has of getting in there. But Yasuo also has the annoyingly easy ability to just pull off those huge crits early game. It's all about skill from my understanding.
That's what I like to hear. A excellent skill matchup there in the top lane. Some bans coming in. The Janna banned away as well. So both support Specs and Becky are losing the champs they played in the previous game. And of course we know Becky as well a fan of the Lux. Lux off the table for both supports. So, and we will see the Misfortune banned away from Galaxy. He did look effective on that pick previously when the Jhin was banned away. We'll see what gets locked in by Bilbo here. He's going to pick the Tristana. So definitely a strong pick right now, favored by a lot of ADCs. We'll see how Galaxy responds. He's got a little bit of time here, and he'll pick the Caitlyn. So Caitlyn against Tristeo. Any thoughts on that matchup there?
Tristana's got a lot more burst potential. Caitlyn not really having anything for her burst. The Q pretty easy to dodge, and the trap's kind of easy to avoid if you're careful enough. I don't see the advantage going in Caitlyn's favor, and this also goes into what Bilbo plays constantly is these late game AD carries with the Twitch, Caitlyn, and Tristana, and even the Draven being picked up earlier. So he's not on an uncomfortable pick. So I can't imagine that with the Nautilus being locked in now later, that Tristana will have too much of a problem in lane.
As well has the spell shield from that Morgana plus all the CC, so definitely a helpful support there as far as avoiding being bursted down. We have seen Becky play the Morgana in previous tournaments, definitely a pick she is comfortable playing. Ayo, curious with the Nautilus for Specs. I know Nautilus from personal experience can be a very difficult support to deal with, just excellent engage. But the question is this something Specs is proficient with? Has he played much of this? Comfortable on it? Do you know?
He has played it in a previous match. It was the first match that they played, so he didn't play it with this AD carry in particular. And it was their only defeat, 110-15. So not exactly the strongest of showings, but it isn't something that he's... that he's just pulling out of nowhere, and he's played plenty of Nautilus in his previous game a day ago.
I see. Well, obviously still feels confident enough about the pick to lock it in here into the Morgana. We are seeing Spaxies on the Jarvan. We saw that full damage Jarvan get way ahead in the last game. Could be fun to watch. I'll actually be right back here. I'll leave you guys with the music and any details Ayo wants to add. Be right back.
It's definitely going to be interesting with the jungle matchup of the Jarvan and the Nunu. The Nunu being able to easily counter jungle, but it's not exactly what Jarvan would be opposed to doing, because I think Jarvan has a really good chance of killing Nunu in a 1v1, and Jarvan's strengths are a lot stronger than Nunu's are, so could see that Jarvan's ganking pads could really decide this game. Yasuo and Riven, again, just a neutral matchup, a comfort champion for Soongale and Sayonara, respectively. So I think this game will all come down to the junglers, come down to Spax's gameplay, and come down to how the bot lane exactly matches up. Can definitely see Becky's Babes having an edge champion-wise due to Azir being what I believe to be strong against Echo. The Riven and Yasuo being equal, and the Tristana and Morgana having an edge over them. Nunu not having an edge over Jarvan in the ganking category, but clear speed, I believe he has the edge. So they have some really nice damage.
I am back. Thank you for covering for me there, Ayo. So, anything catch your eye in particular about the matchups here? I know one thing jumps out to me, of course, is the Nunu. We're here in the Nunu patch. Despite the hotfix, this is still the Nunu patch, or so it has been called.
He's played plenty of Nunu in the past of Season 7, and plenty of it in Season 8, with 65 games played in Season 7, 26 played in Season 8. no stranger to the champion by any stretch of the imagination.
I'm not sure if you touched on this while I was gone, but how about Nunu into Jarvan? What do you think of that matchup?
On this, in fact.
Touched
on that for most of the time that you were gone. Basically, I said I believe it's going to come down to Jarvan's ganking abilities on how the game's going to unfold due to Echo having a disadvantage in lane. I think Caitlyn and Nautilus having a disadvantage in lane. Yasuo not really having an advantage outright. So, and you could argue that Yasuo will have a disadvantage due to any time that he'll want to get in, Riven could stun him. So we're just going to have to find out, but Jarvan could very well shape this game up.
Will be fun to see. Breaking out the Warring Kingdoms Jarvan skin there. Excellent skin.
Once again, pulling out an instant kill champion like Azir. Because I don't know if you've ever experienced it, but I've experienced the kind of Azir that throws out 2 soldiers, Qs you, and then you are already begging for a heal and a barrier and a flash because the Azir's already right on top of you and the ult's coming out.
I have seen a little something of that. I mean, you got to be frightened of the Azir once you get an item or two, and then he gets into the late game. Absolute monster. So we'll have to see how Kite performs on that.
Kite doing us a favor with the little Azir jig at the beginning. Although, can say that Azir's clearly not picking the right role. Azir jungle far more practical.
It is indeed. You know, going a little off meta with the Azir mid here.
Yeah, but we gotta respect the odd choices that are thrown around here. 86% voted for the Jeb Stewart Waiders to win this game. 14% for Becky's Babes. Lord Mord specifically voting for them. Having plenty of faith. Could this be the last game? It does look good on the side of Becky's Babes.
Very true, actually. An interesting invade coming out here from the side of Becky's Babes. We'll, of course, have to get acquainted with Becky's Babes being on the red side now. A little bit of early poke coming out there from Kite's Azir. Wow, already dishing out the damage onto Lucio's Echo. We'll see how that matchup develops. Some vision established on both junglers' blue buffs. Actually, a lot of pings coming out there from the side of Jeb Stewart Waiders. Early trade here from the Yasuo against the Riven. Fairly even so far, but it looks like Yasuo will get the better of the trade just barely. Again, still poke damage coming out from that Azir. Lucio's Echo, he does have the Dark Seal, but has to burn a refillable potion from that poke damage. But he'll heal up just fine. Oh, but once again, continuing to lay down the poke from Kite on the Azir. A scary pick. Ooh, Lucio's Echo going in here with the E, but the return damage from the Azir is just so hard to deal with. Lucio will throw out the Q and overall make it just about an equal trade. Early push here, Bilbo Spaggins and Becky on the Tristana and the Morgana pushing in that bot lane. Meanwhile, Sayonara on the Yasuo pushing in the top lane. Ooh, excellent binding from Becky. A lot of damage coming out. Tristana Bomb is there. Ooh, we could have a 2v1 here. Flash comes out. Heal comes out from the Azir, but the Electrocute proc is enough, and First Blood picked up by Lucio's Echo. Flash is used by all 3 players, but First Blood and 500 gold lead just about picked up for the side of Jeb Stewart Waiders. So great start for them, especially after that last game. They'll love to see an advantage in the mid lane for them. You know, they love that mid-jungle synergy. It's something they've showcased before. We'll see if they have it this game.
Jarvan looking for a lane gank up top and definitely doing what I think is their win condition of Jarvan's ganks becoming very consistent.
No, this could be bad. Soon Riven has no idea. He's pushed up way too far. Actually goes in on the Yasuo, so this could be dangerous. Already used the stun. Flash used by Riven. Electric proc comes out from the Jarvan. So much damage coming out. Riven has nothing, has no flash. Tries to kite it away from the tornado, but it is not enough. And Sayonara's Yasuo picks up the kill there. So 2 kills picked up for the side of Stewart Waiders, both with the help of Spax's Jarvan. So great work around the map from him. We'll have to see how Koopa Star responds on the Nunu. No ganks from him just yet. Oh, but just as we speak, here he comes in. Hits the E onto the Echo. Echo gets the shield, doing a little bit of damage, but Jarvan is there to respond. So much damage. Azir's got to be careful, though. He has no flash or heal, and he will E away. But now Nunu is on the run. Nunu does have flash, and he'll use it to get out of there. Got to be careful. But Yasuo is there to respond. Yasuo actually flashes to try to stop it. Jarvan is on the chase. So much damage coming out. Riven is not there in time to stop it, and Spax picks up the kill on the Jarvan. So 3-0 up.
That Yasuo used his teleport and canceled it in order to try to cut off Nunu and Azir from the top.
Interesting play there, but it will result in an almost 1.5k gold lead early on for Stewart Waiders. They are getting shoved in here in the bot lane, but haven't used any summoners. A bit of a CS disadvantage, though. They're down about 10 CS here, maybe a little bit less once they equalize the waves. But still, big leads starting to develop in top, jungle, and mid for the side of Stewart Waiders. We'll look at those gold differentials right now. Ooh, we have some action here on the top lane. Riven once again, a gank here. Nunu's there to respond, but Riven still has no flash. Gotta be careful. The shield comes out from Riven. She's going back under the tower, and they can't tower dive her just yet. Barely makes it out there. Nunu doing his best to ward them away, but no flashes for any of the 4 champions. Means can't have too much aggression.
But this has got to be his 4th gank so far. And we've only seen 1 gank come out of Nunu, and it didn't seem to be all that successful due to the death. Really shaping up to be Stewart Waiders' win condition.
Absolutely. About 500 gold up in top, jungle, and mid. And like you said, Spax's Jarvan has been all over the map. So many ganks, and you have to figure he'll keep it up. We'll see where he strikes next. Nunu actually still farming. He's at his Gromp right now. They have vision down there in the bot lane. Galaxy and Specs are starting to push up a little bit. We'll see if Nunu looks for a gank. Get some vision on the Drake there. Lucio goes in for a brief trade on the kite. Does some damage. So far, a lot of reset in the other lanes.
Out of the Jarvan. Gotta tell that he's looking for that damage.
So much damage coming out from Lucio's. Ooh, Lucio actually has to ult back. So much counter damage from the Azir. Both champs taken so low, but the Echo ult is enough. The E comes in. Oh, and the Q is enough to pick up the kill on Azir. We've seen that before. Lucio kind of baiting out a little bit, waiting for some cooldowns maybe, and then Eing back in for a great quick kill. He's now got 4 stacks on that Dark Seal, and he's got the Sheen up 2-0 and 50 CS to Kite Azir's 0-2 and 32 CS. Definitely building up an advantage there in the mid lane for the side of Stewart Waiders. Gotta be feeling good. Now building up about a 2k gold lead plus for them.
50% stopwatch ratio. 3 coming from Stewart Waiders. Clearly the reason they're ahead so far.
Clearly it is battle of the stopwatches. You're absolutely right. Of course, Galaxy and Specs may appreciate having those stopwatches. They've been pushed in most of the game. Definitely wouldn't want to get tower dove. But actually, Jarvan is level 6. Nunu is not level 6 just yet. Rest of the level 6 is kind of coming around the map for Stewart Waiders. They all have those ultimates available. Ooh, Echo possibly looking for a tower dive on the here. Gets the stun, so much damage, but he can't get quite enough. Oh, he ults back. Azir heal comes out. He uses the ult, and the flash comes out from Azir. Q is enough, and Echo flashes away. Excellent play from both players there, but Lucio picks up the kill with the Q. Specs' hook will not connect onto Bilbo's Swagging Tristana just yet, but now 3-0 on Lucio's Echo to Kite's 0-3 on the Azir. Stewart Waiders feeling great. We've seen Lucio really start to carry this team in other games, and he's got to be happy to have a lead. And now Nunu is caught out. Oh no, this could be bad. Nunu does not have the flash just yet. I don't think he's going to make it out. He'll consume, but it's not enough, and Lucio picks up another kill. 4-0 now on that Echo. Massive advantage in the mid lane.
To show that he's accepted it.
Bit of a trade here in the top lane. Still not enough damage from the side of that Yasuo to do any tower diving just yet. It's again
Rushing of Lichbane, that's just going to help Echo's damage all the more. You got to wonder if this turns out in the way of Jeb Stewart's Waiders, like it is looking like it will. Got to wonder if Echo's going to become a priority ban for them, or if they're going to try to pick that up in return, because they should be blue side next game.
Very true, and Jarvan still hovering around the mid lane. Again, he's been practically everywhere. But looks like they have eyes on this Azir. Again, Flash comes out from the Jarvan. The ult is so much damage, barely even needs the Echo, but now the Nunu ult is there to get the counter kill. We'll see what happens here, though. Lucio looking to dive, has to ult back. Don't think he can do anything just yet. So Nunu, good response there from Koopa to get the kill onto the Jarvan, but they get the kill onto the Azir again, and 5-0 now. Lucio's Echo, 10 stacks of the Dark Seal. Makes it out alive, doesn't lose any of those stacks. He's got to be happy with that.
Very aggressive play from them to tower dive. Most certainly not expecting the Nunu to be there in time. Unfortunate for them, but fortunate for Becky's Babes to finally pick up a kill on this important person that they need to start shutting down. Now they just need one more kill on the Echo to possibly begin their comeback.
Absolutely. Still only a 3k gold lead. We saw the gold fluctuate a little bit last game, and definitely throughout this tournament we've seen some significant comebacks. So especially with a team like Becky's Babes, we saw them, they look fantastic in that last game. Would not put it past them to orchestrate a comeback, but at the same time, Jeb Stewart Waiders have been playing very well this game, and they're kind of building up that mid-juggle advantage we've talked about that they like. They're definitely in a good spot right now. Kite's Azir kind of zoned off there. Definitely gets a good amount of poke damage onto Lucio's Echo, though. Not able to take that turret just yet. Ooh, we could have a fight here. And Specs' Nautilus picks up the kill, and they'll pick up the Drake that he had started. Koopa had started on the Nunu, hoping to sneak it. Doesn't quite get it. Oh, wow, and Echo has to ult back. He actually gets ulted by Azir under the tower. It's a good play from Kite there. Still not letting that tower fall just yet, but he's got to be careful. He's got very little mana and not much health. Looks like Lucio will pick up this first tower, and Spax is there just in case. Good move from Kite to back away, seeing that.
Definitely a good board from him, expecting that Jarvan to still be there based on how often he's been ganking.
Absolutely. Ooh, we could have a matchup here. Echo and Jarvan against the Nunu. They get the stun. The ult comes out from the Jarvan. Nunu has no escape. He has no flash. So much damage coming out. He'll consume to try to stay alive. Just try to farm those Raptors before he falls. But he will fall indeed. So now 1-4 on the Nunu for Koopa. 0-4 for Kite's Azir. Big deficits there in the mid and the jungle. We check out that gold lead. Actually 12 or a 1.2k, sorry, for Spax's Jarvan in the jungle. And a whopping 2.8k for Lucio's Echo in the mid lane. So big leads there for the side of Jeb Stewart Waiders. Their gold lead is actually extended to almost 6k overall. 9-1 in kills, 1-0 in towers. Make that 2-0 because Sayonara's Yasuo picked up that tower in the top lane. He's built up about a 26 CS advantage, and he's got that 1 kill up onto Soongal's Riven. So right now, Nightbringer trumping Dawnbringer. So far. Is it Nightbringer and Dawnbreaker? Dawnbringer? Dawnbreaker or Dawnbringer? Do you know? Which one is that?
For who?
Riven? What is the skin called? Is it Dawnbringer? Night
skin. Dawnbringer.
And so it's Nightbringer, yeah. So Nightbringer and Dawnbringer. Those are the two?
I think for now, I think for Yasuo it's Nightbringer, but yes, it is Dawnbringer for Riven.
I see, okay. Well, regardless, Nightbringer triumphing so far. Oh, barely missed that hook from Specs onto Bilbos against Tristana.
So with the only dragon having been taken being Ocean, another Ocean popping up for right now definitely can help them keep in the healthy zone, but not exactly the dragon that they're looking to grab. They're looking to grab from the side of Jeb Stewart Waiders. In my opinion, they're looking to grab that Cloud Dragon.
Oh, and Lucio will have to ult back, but he's still going to get that kill. You have to imagine he does with the Q, does have to flash away. Kite uses both summoners, but he's still gone. Now a 10-2 lead. Lucio's Echo only 6 stacks in the Darksail after the death, but still massive lead there in the mid lane. They're going to summon the Rift Herald in the bot lane. They're going to look for that last outer turret here. And they got the advantage here with their jungler there. Nunu is nowhere near, cannot help them. And Becky's Babe's bot lane will just peel back here and let that turret fall. So that will make it a 7k gold lead. 3 turrets to 0 for the side of Jeb Stewart Waiders. A massive lead already at 50 minutes into the game. Oh, but they don't see this. Galaxy is going to get engaged on, but Nautilus is there. Flash away from Galaxy. Maybe he should have stayed. I don't think he knew how much damage they had and how much peel Nautilus could do. Maybe could have gotten the kills. They might still want some. Nautilus flashes forward, but Biblos Wagons will just jump away. Does use the heal. Kite waiting in the wings there. So interesting, actually. Galaxy E-ing and then flashing back over the wall to get out. But I think had he stayed, they might have been able to pick up a kill or two. They had the advantage. So Becky's Vegas perhaps lucking out there. Oh, but Lucio looking for another dive onto Kaisazir, and he will. He'll just ult back. Looks like every time that ult is up, he's looking for the tower dive. And now Koopa's Nunu could be in trouble, having to evade the Echo stun. Still just getting hammered on. Electrocute proc comes out from the Jarvan. Nunu will smite. He'll use the Blast Cone, but he is on the wrong side of the map now, getting chased by the Echo and the Jarvan. Nunu just shuffling away as fast as he can. Jarvan flag and drags over there. Nunu E comes out, but now Echo's closing in. Still on the run. Amazing, but there are no 4 people there. Caitlyn ult comes in, just hoping to get assist money, I think, but Koopa is still alive somehow.
That execute, but he's not gonna get it.
Yeah, not quite. Lucio's Echo will pick up the kills, so a merry chase that he led them on there. Koopa, a good effort.
He stalled for quite a good time. Jeb Stewart Waiders could have possibly taken down a turret or two.
Yeah, meanwhile, actually, they're looking at doing some damage to this bot lane turret, but it could be a trade for an inner turret in the top lane. 3 members of Jeb Stewart's Waiders there right now, and they're going to have a hard time holding that off to the side of Becky's Babes, and they're not able to get this bot turret. Specs is there on the Nautilus just in time to support his ADC Galaxy, and they will still hold this turret, weak though it may be. Drake actually coming up in just a second here. It is an Ocean Drake. We could see the double Ocean coming out from this side of Jeb Stewart Waiders, should they secure that with this gold lead of theirs, which has approached approximately 8k. You have to assume they'll have priority on it. They're starting it already. Nunu is nearby, but nobody else. Looks like Nunu will just head for the Gromp instead. Yasuo and Riven still trading there in the top lane. Yasuo all comes down. A lot of damage there. Looks like Riven will just run away, though. Still has the flash. Holds on to it. Ocean Drake picked up for the side of Jeb Stewart Waiders, so they will get that double Ocean we talked about. 8k gold lead now. Becky's Babes just hoping to stall this game out. They do have the Tristana. They do have the Azir. Could be dangerous late game, but we'll see. See if they even get there. 18 minutes now and already 4-0 in turrets for the side of Jeb Stewart Waiders. So we have to ask the, the token question we ask every time, AO. How does Becky Babes come back from this deficit? What do you think? AO seemingly speechless, actually.
I think what they need to do is try to shut down the Echo. Azir is unable to solo him now at this point. Echo just being a huge assassination problem. Of course, Yasuo being a consistent problem for Riven as well, gaining that 50 CS advantage ever since he got that early gank assist. But I think what they want to put their eggs into the basket for is either the Azir or the Tristana. The Azir obviously really behind, but the Tristana can easily provide a powerful late game carry here.
Tristana actually with a very slight CS advantage there in the bot lane.
Azir will need some time to come online after being put in this hole. So I think Tristana may be their best shot.
Much like an old Windows XP computer, eventually he will come online. Lucio here, though, is already online, looking to dive against Tristana, but can't quite do it. Holds onto the ult and the flash. He does have the Zanyas as well, so a lot of tower aggro dropping, invulnerability, untargetability he's got there in his arsenal on the Echo. A comfort pick again, and he does look comfortable so far. Sieging this mid lane. Baron is up right now. Ooh, great ult from Azir. Galaxy gets knocked back. Restana Bomb is on there. She W's forward. The stopwatch is used, but Nautilus is melted. Caitlyn is melted. And the flash just barely enough. Jarvan picks up the kill on Tristana, but Jarvan dies in the process. So a 1 for 3. A great fight there. A great Azir ult from Kite to start it. Great Nunu ult, and just excellent team fight overall. They pick up a 1 for 3. That's where they'll want to start if they're looking for a comeback. Yasuo hovering around the Baron here. Riven is approaching. Lucio is still up, though. Remember, this guy does a lot of damage, but he's got to be careful. This is a 1 against 3. Morgana shield is popped. Lucio has got to be careful. He does have the ult down at the moment. Oh, he'll jump in and get the kill onto the Morgana. He'll use the Zanyas. His ult is actually up right now. Won't hit anybody. He'll jump and get a double kill on the Azir. Nunu has to flash away, but Echo's on the chase. He's so fast. He might get a triple. He's looking for it. He eased forward. Still on the chase. We've seen Koopa run before. Oh, but Tristana is here. Lucio could be in trouble. This could be more than he bargained for. And he will die as Tristana doesn't get the shield in time. Wow, but Riven caught on meanwhile by the side of Jeb Stewart Waiders. So, a 1 for 3 now for the side of Jeb Stewart Waiders, and Baron is on the table. Nunu is back at base. They'll start this. Spax's Jarvan taking a lot of damage. Actually looks like he is going lethality this game with the serrated Dirk picked up there. Nunu is actually on the way. They're not doing too much damage to it, and Vision is available for the side of Becky's Babes. Blast Cone is up. Nunu has no flash, but he does have the consume and the smite. He could look for the steal. He'll jump in, but the Yasuo ult comes down. They're not doing enough damage to the Baron. Nunu is trying, but he's not gonna get it. The smite comes out from Spax's Jarvan. Nunu did his best. He did the ult, he did the consume, he did the smite, but it was not enough. Good job from Jeb Stewart Waiders waiting for the Nunu to come over and winning that smite fight. They do pick up the Baron.
For Becky's Babes, just a little bit early on that, but they did win a good fight earlier before that Baron when Echo was split pushing. Now Echo seems to be split pushing still. If they can keep pulling off these kills on all the other champions of the side of Jeb Stewart Waiders, if they can keep catching Caitlyn out or Yasuo out, this could be their way back in to get the kills on everyone else but Echo and take on Echo once they are stronger, because he's got almost no stacks on that Dark Seal now.
Absolutely, and some good wave clear on the side of Becky's Babes, but the Baron buff is just too much, and they'll pick up this mid lane turret. Now 6 turrets to 0 and an 11k gold lead for the side of Jeb Stewart Waiders. As you said, Aaron, you're absolutely right. We know Becky's Babes is a strong team. We know this is a team that could come back. They've looked good before, but it's going to be tough. This is a massive gold lead. They're going to need a couple more fights like that one they had. It'd be a good Azir ult, a good Nunu ult. Riven coming in. They're going to have to play really, really well as a team. Baron buff. That could be a tough one. We'll see if Becky's Babes can hope to contest with such a massive gold lead and such incredible vision work being done by Specs and the rest of Jeb Stewart Waiders. This is going to be a challenge for Becky's Babes to contest. Looks like we have a bait being set up here in the bush. Careful, Pig is coming out. Oh, this could be trouble. Only Lucio there, though. They're going to see that Echo. Jumps in on the Azir. Massive damage between the Caitlyn and the Azir, and the Echo. They will melt Kite's Azir and pick up the Infernal Drake to boot. Icing on the cake. Meanwhile, taking down Azir's poor turret there in the mid lane. That's all he had left. Come on. Leave the man with something.
They did want the Infernal. It does help out Echo's damage, along with the lethality Jarvan and high damage Caitlyn with the static shiv and IE. But Mountain coming up next. Another dragon that they don't necessarily need.
So,
down the spot lane.
Yes, we are seeing the Baron buff do its work. Wow, Tristana, exhaust comes down, heal comes out from Tristana, but so much damage. The Jarvan ult comes in, and they'll melt Azir once again. Double kill for the Echo, and now they're jumping in once more. Becky taking so much damage from the Morgana, and she is gone. There's 3 kills there, and now they're jumping in on the Nunu. 4v1, Nunu ult comes out, but you have to assume he's going to fall soon. Doesn't manage to get the Nautilus. The turret is gone. Nunu is falling, and the Caitlyn ult will come in. Specs doing his best to seal the kill on Nautilus, but not quite, and the ace comes out from Yasuo once again, getting a solo kill onto that Riven. All of Becky's Babes are down right now. 10 seconds on the Azir, 10 seconds on the Tristana. Looks like they're going to close out this game and take us to a game 3. Could be exciting. We'll have to see if Becky's Babes can make any kind of last-ditch defense here, but with an almost 17k gold lead, the Nexus is going to fall. Not much Becky's can do, and the Nexus is gone. Jeb Stewart Waiders with a crazy snowball on Lucio's Echo and around the map, playing those objectives well, just slowly but surely closing the game out and then picking up the win. So our series is now tied. If you're just tuning in, 1 game for Becky's Babes, 1 game for Jeb Stewart Waiders. That takes us to game 3 of this series. Now remember, if Becky's Babes does pick up the win in this game 3, they will win the entire tournament. They will win Party Brawl 4. They will win the Grand Finals. But if Jeb Stewart Waiders picks up the win, we'll move on to another best of 3, which will decide the entire tournament. So exciting stuff. Glad to see Jeb Stewart Waiders pick up the win so we can see some more League of Legends action. Been great fun watching this series so far. I'm excited to watch this game 3.
Some good plays out of the Echo. Them really pulling out their win condition. They got their leads early. They did not falter the early game. The Jarvan doing exactly what Jarvan needed to do in order to win these lanes that should have naturally lost. Getting Echo so far ahead that he was able to just delete the Azir before his harass really became an issue. Caitlyn and Nautilus, Tristana and Morgana didn't really turn into much, but the early gank and kill onto the Riven snowballed Yasuo enough to be able to stay consistently ahead of the Riven. I think if we had to throw an MVP here, it would be undoubtedly Jarvan for his early game pressure.
Absolutely. He was all over the place, and you know, I've been doing my best to spice things up, but I gotta agree with you here. Spax's on the Jarvan was a monster. He was seemingly everywhere, and unfortunately Koopa on the Nunu just not able to provide much pressure at all, and by the time he was starting to gank, Nunu was already just you know, way too far behind. Meanwhile, Spaxes was getting Lucio completely rolling in that mid lane matchup. Just crazy fed in the Echo, so hard to deal with. Reminds you of Kite on the Aurelia in that game 1. So both games so far, we're seeing the junglers help snowball that huge mid lane advantage. We'll see if game 3 plays out like that. We should have you guys into the action soon. But definitely a fun game. As we just said, both of us given the MVP award to Spaxes for Jeb Stewart Waiders. Great job there on the Jarvan.
Little quick smoke break.
I see. Okay. Well, it gives us some more time to talk about this. So, we saw a little bit of adaptation. We saw the Echo brought out by Jeb Stewart Waiders and the Jarvan, both champions we've seen Lucio and Spaxes play before. Definitely looked very comfortable on those champions. So, looks like a good draft adaptation from them. Ayo, if you're on the side of Becky's Babes, you think you're going to ban that Echo away for Game 3, take it off the table, and or the Jarvan? What do you think?
Since they're running on the blue side, they do have the opportunity of first pick. And considering Game 1 that the Jeb Stewart Waiders were not ready to hand that pick over to Kite, Kite obviously having his own experience on it through his ranked profile, I do not believe that Becky's Babes will ban it, but it could be a forced ban coming through for the Jeb Stewart Waiders. But it is possible that they may try to look for it. Maybe Lucio has his own adaptation on how to deal with the Echo. Maybe he can pull out his own Azir, or perhaps someone else who he feels can handle it. The Jarvan, I think that may be a ban that comes out. Spax most certainly looking strong on it. Not showing up in his ranked profile, but definitely showing up big in this tournament. Being a key player in 2 of their games so far.
Absolutely. I would not be surprised to see a Jarvan ban. You know, we heard this was the new patch, but as far as these games are concerned, it looks like it's the Jarvan patch right now. Spaxy's looking monstrous on that champion. So problematic, so hard to deal with. You know, he gets in the back line with that electrocute, with that full damage Jarvan. Just so hard to deal with. He can trap you in the ult. He can knock you up with the flag and drag. Just a very difficult champion to deal with. As we've said, Spaxy's as well very comfortable on it too. So could be a good ban. I'm curious about the bot lane. So far in these 2 games, not too much action from either bot lane. You think there's any specific reason for that? I mean, these teams seem to mostly be playing around mid and jungle. Bot lane's just kind of been, I mean, not irrelevant, but it seems like it's mostly been fairly even in these games. What are you looking to see in the bot lane for Game 3?
I think we're going to see a lot of what we've seen in the past. Neither of these teams in any of their games, of course, CST Galaxy and Bilbo not doing bad by any stretch of the imagination, but not really doing the carry role either. Bilbo did go 8-1-6 during the Soul Torn Warriors game during day 1. And CST Galaxy pulling out his own Tristana, whom I thought was a really, really strong player during the late game part, but definitely not really a carry from the beginning kind of AD carries and supports here. So I think we're going to see much of what we saw in the past. These 2 bot lanes are not going to be going for anything fancy. They're just going to leave it up to the mid, jungle, and top lane matchups, which both of these top laners, in their respective matchups against all the other teams, showing strong personal promises. We could see from Becky's Babes top laner, the 9-1-4 Akali, one of the crucial members of the Becky's Babes lineup, and I believe earning the MVP for that game. Akali later on in the second game, not pulling out too much, but not being a hindrance. And the Fiora, again, I can't stress this enough, the 1v4ing of the third game as Fiora, a stable and highly dangerous top laner. Whereas Sayonara Baby definitely being a huge presence on that Alawi, hence the Alawi bans every game.
Ooh, we
So
do see that Jarvan ban come out from the side of Becky's Babes, just like we were talking about.
I don't want to see Spaxes get a comfortable champion like that any further. And it won't be an Echo ban on the side of Becky's Babes. Maybe they are trying to force the ban out of the Jebstar Warriors, and it will.
So they ban
not having an answer for it.
Yeah, they ban the Echo away and lock in the Warwick for the side of Becky's Babes. We'll have to see. I'm curious if Spaxes plays much Evelyn, if he feels like that Evelyn and Warwick matchup from Game 1 was a good one, and maybe he'll want to get in on that. Regardless, we'll see Sayonara's pick first.
Based on his match history, I don't think we will. He doesn't have much experience in Season 7 or 8 of Evelyn. So I don't think we are going to see an Evelyn. But we could see a Sejuani, as he has earned MVP from it during one of the games that we saw yesterday from me.
Ooh, could be good to see. Oh, the Lux was left open. It looks like they're going to lock that in for Specs. No? Hovering over some different champions now. The Draven was already locked in. And now the Nunu taken by Spax is so interesting. We saw that not be very effective in the last game. But now Spax is on the Nunu. Ayo, have you seen Spaxes play this champion much? Is this one that he's fond of?
I haven't seen him play it at all based on his ranked stats, and don't see anything or anywhere in his match history. So definitely an odd choice. We're once again seeing the strong possible counter jungling coming from the Nunu versus the highly ganking, influential jungler. I think this will once again turn into who is more influential during the laning phase. Is it going to be Warwick? Because if not, I think Nunu will be more useful with the Draven combo. But we're just going to have to find out.
Absolutely. So the Tristana locked in for Bilbo Swaggins now into CST Galaxy's Draven. So a lot of interesting kind of swaps we're seeing. We saw Hoopistar on the Nunu. We saw Bilbo Swaggins on the Draven. So I'm curious how these guys will perform. If this is a, you know, oh, you want to try playing this champion? Well, I'm going to give it a go. And then we got to see, are they going to perform better or worse than their opponents? So definitely eager to see. Orianna locked in by Lucio. So Ayo, obviously one of your favorite champions, locked in by Lucio, who was, of course, such a major carry last game. Actually bans the Fizz away. Was Fizz a problem for Orianna, would you say?
Not just that, but a comfort pick taken away from Kite, because Kite went absolutely bonkers on Fizz in the past on 18-3 and 2. Almost half of the team's damage, easily earning MVP, and Zoe in the same position, not earning as much as the team's damage, but being the clear reason why the Becky's Babes have won that match. So banning away crucial people that Kite can pick. Not too worried about whomever soon Gale is going to take up top lane, but trying to take away these two strong picks that Kite has already shown off. And that Orianna does have a problem against Fizz. Not so much of a problem against Zoe, but it could be more of taking away comfort rather than what the champion is specifically good at.
For sure. And the Dr. Mundo is locked in. Have not seen this pick in the tournaments thus far. As I have seen. Have we seen a Dr. Mundo before, Ale?
Not on any of the games so far, and doesn't appear to be a champion that either Sayonara Baby or Spaxes has really played or brought out. So I mean, this is most certainly going to be a Mundo top, but I can't overrule the possibility of a Nunu top. But not something that we see or we're even close to expecting from Sayonara Baby.
Indeed. Should be fun to see. The Janna locked in by Specs up against the Lulu for Becky. So Draven Janna up against Tristana Lulu there in the bot lane. Meanwhile, in mid lane, Kite locks in the Xerath. This champion, he plays a lot AO, and also curious about how you feel about Orianna into the Xerath.
Xerath is someone that he's played very little into Season 8, 31 games into Season 7. So some experience, but he's played hundreds of games in Season 7, so we can't call that really him playing Xerath a ton or having a ton of experience, as he does on the Echo with 379 games played. But this does defy his usual kind of champion decisions of, I want to instantly kill you. Xerath more of a poke champion. Can be a burster if he gets ahead, but not nearly as strong compared to his other champion choices. Now, the Orianna and Xerath specifically, Orianna has a problem trying to return the harass that Xerath can throw out if the Xerath is good at landing his Qs. And plenty of Xeraths are after playing him for so long. We're going to have to see if Kite has that necessary experience. But Orianna, if she's able to somehow sidestep successfully Xerath's Qs, in a direct fight, she should be able to win. But with the harass coming out from Xerath, it makes it difficult to call. The Warwick will definitely be a big influential factor here on whether or not Xerath will get ahead or not. I will expect the Warwick to be kind of camping around the mid lane and possibly even the bot lane. This could be an easy game for the bot lane Bilbo Swaggins and Becky combo to finally make their debut.
Will be fun to see. I know, having played a fair amount of Xerath, for me, I feel like the biggest problem is usually the opposing jungler, and in my view, the Nunu is not something that presents a big threat to the Xerath. Not one of these champions like a Hecarim or a Warwick or a Jarvan that can really get on top of the Xerath easily. In fact, you know, we saw the Nunu in the last game not having too much of an impact pre-6. We'll see how Spaxis plays it. If he plays more of an aggressive Nunu, maybe doing some counter jungling, that type of thing. But definitely seems like a fairly safe lane for Kite, provided he doesn't get outplayed by the Orianna like you touched on. So we'll see how that develops. Again, both these mid laners and junglers have really proven themselves to be excellent players in the series so far. So obviously, those are both areas we're going to be watching closely. I want to jump in with this Cho'Gath into Dr. Mundo. Obviously, love to see the adaptations for both teams. New champions being brought out each time, new bans being brought out. Just a lot of changes, looking for a new advantage that they can find. What do you think about Cho'Gath up against Dr. Mundo, AO?
Cho'Gath brings in a lot of sustain when it comes to the top lane. Mundo himself being a hard guy to kill, I don't see an obvious victor here. If anything, I see that Cho'Gath could become a problem for Mundo because of the amount of sustain and the surprising amount of AP that you'll see, and the true damage ult coming through could easily catch Mundo off guard when his ult takes so long for him to come online. But Dr. Mundo's damage is incredibly fierce. I think this could also come down to an early gank, whether Warwick will or not be focusing on trying to get an early gank and an early kill off on top lane like Jarvan did last time. But I think it could go in Cho'Gath's favor if the lane plays out normally without jungler interference.
We'll be curious to see how that goes.
There we go. We've got the Dragon Trainer combo.
Oh, definitely got
lane from Babes looking a little stronger than usual for some reason.
Absolutely, they got that skin synergy online. That's what we like to see.
If only Orianna and Nunu both had TPA. Well, Nunu does, but Orianna not.
Oh, and TPA Mundo too. Where's that? Could have had the full TPA team. Unfortunately, not a reality. But regardless of the skins, we're going to hit the Rift. Once again, if you were just joining us, we're in Party Brawl 4. We are in the Grand Finals. This is Game 3 of the first Best of 3 series. Now remember, this could be match point. We have one game for each team. Becky's Babes won the first game, and then Jeb Stewart Waiders picked up a smashing win in the second game. Both games were dominated by the mid lane and the jungle. It was a question of who could get more ganks off, who could get that mid lane snowballing, and both teams took turns making that a reality. We'll see if that's the case here, or if, as AO suggested, we might see some more play in the top lane, might even see some focus on the bot lane, which hasn't been as much of a focus in the previous games. But again, if Becky's Babes pull off the win here, they win Party Brawl 4. They win the Grand Finals. They win the tournament. But if Jeb Stewart Waiders pulls off the win here, picks up the reverse sweep, they'll go on to another best of 3, which will decide the winner of the tournament. So exciting stuff. As we wander around the Rift, we get a taste of the Lulu laugh. Certainly one of the more annoying laugh spams in the game. Always good to see. Both teams
see a 60% stopwatch rate.
Indeed, 3 on both sides.
We did come close with the 90%, but no 100% quite yet.
Too bad. Ooh, early invade here. Flash smite from Nunu gets to level 2. Now Warwick's getting the worst of this trade. Nunu has a level up. Nobody's there to help, and now Warwick really punishing the Nunu there, but Nunu will walk away with the blue buff. So a flash smite. I guess that's the new name of the, when you flash smite, it's a smash. That's my new coin phrase, trademarked. The flash smite from Nunu picks up the blue buff, so extremely aggressive from Spaxies. We mentioned earlier, is this guy going to play more of a passive game like Koopa's Nunu last game? The answer immediately seems to be no, not even remotely. The guy burns flash before 2 minutes and counter jungles the Warwick, already setting Koopa back there.
Definitely one of the bigger counter jungling forces to deal with in the league, alongside Shyvana. This could seriously hinder Warwick's early ganking abilities. This could really help set his lanes ahead if he can keep this invade pressure going.
Early poke coming down there on to Lucio's Orianna from Kite's Xerath. CS fairly even right now, though Mundo is pushing in the Cho'Gath and has a decent CS lead so far. We'll see how well it can CS under tower. 14-10 right now. W comes out from Xerath, will do some more damage to that Orianna. Using a decent amount of his mana here, but really Lucio's Ori taking a lot of damage there. He's got to be careful. Nunu and Warwick hovering around the bot river. Trade here in the top lane. Both laners about even. Looks like Mundo will get the better of it just barely. Both with that Doran's shield will heal back up.
The first dragon is Infernal Dragon. Now that could be dangerous because both these junglers are capable of early sneaking that dragon without any wards, trying to not rely on their laners specifically.
Oh, and first blood picked up by Sayonara in the top lane. Does the aggressive flash behind the Cho'Gath. Sungale tries to kite away and then flashes back into the bush, but the Mundo damage is too much, and the outplay takes place. Mundo picks up that first blood. 1-0 lead there in the top lane for the side of Jeb Stewart Waiders. He's up almost 10 CS now as well, and Sungale will TP back to the top lane to stop that push. So Flash is traded, kill picked up, almost a 1k gold lead for the side of Jeb Stewart Waiders right now. Still good poke damage coming out from Kite's Xerath onto Lucio. The W will land as well. Certainly a lot of damage from that Xerath. AO talked about how much poke that could be. Ooh, trade early on. Polymorph comes down on the Draven. Giant Shield comes out. Bomb is on him. Overall trade goes in favor of Becky's Babes. Draven being pushed in a little bit by the Tristana Lulu right now.
some more counter jungling coming out of Nunu, but he's nowhere near the dragon. Warwick may be looking to take this.
Indeed. He's approaching the bot lane, actually. We'll see what he does. Perhaps just looking to take the Krugs. Looks like he's heading that way. Nunu is top. E will come out on the Cho'Gath. A lot of slows coming out there. No flash on the Cho'Gath. They could tower dive him. I don't think Cho'Gath can survive. Nunu has aggro, and Mundo will walk away just fine. Great tower dive there from the side of Jeb, Stewart, Waiders, and now 0-2 for Soongale on the Cho'Gath. 2-0 up for Mundo. Talked about how the sustain for Cho'Gath could be advantageous. Well, not if your jungler is ganking all the time and the Mundo is getting a big lead. That's going to be a tough Mundo to deal with as the minutes roll by.
What we were talking about with the jungler's presence up in the top and mid could easily make the difference up, and the early ganking pressure from Warwick will be combated by the invading capabilities of Nunu. Nunu already setting Warwick behind, and it looks like an engage here, but nothing comes out of it. So again, Mundo and Cho'Gath, both what I would think an even matchup, but the Nunu making this heavily Cho'Gath favored.
Absolutely. Spax is being very active on that Nunu. Really a stark contrast to the Nunu we saw last game. Ooh, Tristana aggressively jumps in. Bombs down on Draven. Warwick is here. Polymorph down on the Draven. He has no flash. Uses the heal. Janna flashes away. A lot of damage go down on Draven. Great tornado from the Janna. Will barely peel enough for Galaxy's Draven to walk away. All sums used by the side of Jeb Stewart for their bot lane. None used by Warwick nor by Becky's Babes bot lane. So big summoner advantage. We'll see if we see the repeat gank there. Level 6 is starting to come in. We have level 6 for both mid laners now. Mundo continuing to push in the Cho'Gath. Got that significant advantage still. Or with a nice dodge onto the Xerath Q. Nunu hovering around mid lane. Warwick is not far off either. Ooh. Lucio with the fancy feet there, but now Nunu is here for the gank onto Xerath. He'll ult. Wow! Oh. Insane damage. Great combo from the Lucio's Orianna ult and Spax's Nunu ult. Double kill onto Warwick and Xerath. Wow.
Beautiful Orianna ult prediction. Predicted the flash away from the Xerath, so threw it back way before and began the ult even before the flash, expecting it to come through. Oh man, that was a strong win for Nunu.
Incredible work there by that mid-jungle combo. We talked about, will we see the mid-jungle steamroll once again from either team? Well, looks like we just might. Nunu getting both kills there, but of course Lucio will be happy to have that advantage in the mid lane. Now Cho'Gath's caught out Nunu, but he'll just take the blast gun to safety, no problem. Warwick really behind here, 0-1 in 27 CS to Nunu's 201 and 55 CS. Remember, since they reworked those jungle CS numbers, it's pretty telling as far as the difference of gold there. Warwick level 4 and Nunu level 7, so a massive difference there in the jungle. If we look at the gold lead, Nunu actually has 1,500 gold up on the Warwick. And he's already back mid once again. Xerath sees him coming and he'll be okay. But still, Nunu constantly looking for those ganks. Already with the big advantage, looking to push it even further. So exciting to see what will happen there.
First tower for Mundo. That'll definitely keep him steamrolled.
Absolutely. Looks like he'll pick that up, no problem.
Absolute deleted of Draven, and Janna following very shortly, and the Tristana gets the double kill. That is just painful to see.
Wow, and then the Draven falls, and wow, the exhaust comes down onto the Janna from Becky, and Tristana picks up the kill. I think you're maybe 5 or 6 seconds ahead of me, Hale.
Apparently, because I was wondering why you weren't saying anything.
Yeah, it's 9:40 right now.
Oh, wow. I am 15 seconds ahead of you.
Jeez.
Because I'm paused at 9:54.
Alright, I'm at 951, 52, 53.
Okay, dang.
Ooh, good dodge there from Lucio's Oriana. Doing a good job of getting the fancy feet. Ooh, not on that one, though. Takes the Q from the Xerath. Mundo actually picks up the Scuttle Crab and is hovering around mid lane here, but he might just back. Good stun from Xerath. Oriana gets the shield just in time, but Oriana ult is going to miss onto Xerath just barely. So interesting, we've got a 3K gold lead for the side of Jeb Stewart Waiders, but Tristana 2-0 in that bot lane. Ooh, Becky has to flash away. Draven is on the hunt, but now Tristana with an aggressive flash in. Janna ult comes out. Or sorry, Tristana with a W in, rather than a flash. But Mundo here in the mid lane, putting pressure down on that tower. Already got his tower in the top lane, now looking to pick up another mid. Both junglers hovering around the bot lane, though. We could see a 3v3. Careful ping is coming down onto Warwick. They have spotted him out. Again, good ward coverage from the side of Jeb Stewart Waiders. They're seeing these things before they happen. Ooh, that cleaver doing a ton of damage down on the Xerath. He's rather low on mana, rather low on health. Now the Lulu is heading up towards the mid lane, possibly. No, she's heading back.
Neither of these junglers who can easily take the dragon early have tried it because they know they could run into the other person's dragon. But we're seeing a lot of dragon vision coming from the side of Jeb Stewart's Waiders, so they may be looking to do that soon.
We'll have to see. Looks like they almost got this mid lane turret, but Mundo can't quite take it. Got 3 opponents there on the chase. Mundo's got to get out of there. He does have flash.
He does use it.
Good poke damage coming down onto Becky's Lulu. Yeah, and Mundo will flash away. Ping's coming down onto the dragon. Warwick is there. Tristana W's in aggressively. Draven misses the E. A lot of damage coming out from the bomb. Exhaust comes out from Becky. So much damage from the Xerath, though. Mid lane onto the Mundo. He could be looking for this. He still has ult. He could just be looking for the Q, though. We'll see if he backs away and tries to go for the ult snipe. Draven ult comes down, trying to steal the Drake from the Warwick. They do spot it out here. Warwick is there. All comes down into Draven. Tristana W is in. Heal comes out for Tristana. So much damage. Tristana all comes down. Janna is dead. And so is Draven. Double kill for the Tristana. Now Nunu is behind. Flashes in, but does not get the steal. Warwick gets the smite. And now Nunu is gone. The Tiamat gives Warwick the kill. So 3 members of Jeb Stewart Waiders fall there. And the Infernal Drake goes over to Becky's Babe. So they're very happy with that outcome for sure. Narrow that gold lead to about 1.5K. And now they're looking at a mid lane push. They have the advantage. Tristana is pushing into bot lane. We'll see if they can pick up a turret here. Mundo is there. And remember, Mundo does still have that sizable advantage in the top lane. He's up in about 2,000 gold in the top lane. So very, very significant lead there. And Jeb Stewart Waiders still with the gold lead overall at just under 1.5K. Xerath doing his best to wave clear here, but that tower is really low. They're just going to have to back away. He's got no mana left. Mundo perhaps looking to tower dive the Xerath. Doing a lot of damage, but the Lulu shield is quite a lot. But the Mundo is so tanky, but now he's in the middle of 3 people. He's got to be careful. The Warwick fear is enough, and Warwick will pick up the kill.
Perhaps a bit of miscommunication there, because Oriana looked like she did not want to have any part of that.
Ooh, and Oriana flashes away. Immediately, Warwick flashes after. So Q, T-Back comes out. Oriana's shield is there. Warwick fear comes out. Oriana's still running away. The heal comes out. She's doing her best to kite, and she'll live. Flash! Cho'Gath does not have ult, but he will get her with the empowered auto.
Almost beautifully well played. Well, beautifully well played regardless of Oriana almost getting out of there.
Absolutely. Did a lot of sidestepping of skill shots there. Did his best, Lucio did, to survive that, but in the end falls to the Cho'Gath. TP is canceled by Mundo, and they're just going to pick up this mid lane turret. You have to assume for the side of Becky's Babes with a 4-man push. Tristana is there in the bot lane, and that bot lane turret is really low as well. So equalized turret, and the gold lead actually goes up just about even, I think just barely for the side of Becky's Babes. Ping is coming down towards Rift Herald right now, I think. We'll see what they do. Jeb Stewart does have vision of this Rift Herald. We'll see if they try to contest it. Nunu is in the area, does not have the flash though, and no blast gun available for him to take over. Mundo sees it, and he'll walk in, getting some decent damage there on the Warwick. Looks like they're going to peel off. Mundo ults. He's on the chase there. So is Nunu. A lot of damage coming down. Lulu is really low. She uses the ult onto Cho'Gath. Xerath damage down onto Orianna. And Cho'Gath with the Devour gets the Orianna, but Mundo gets the kill onto the Warwick, but now the Nunu ult comes out. Cho'Gath could be in trouble. He has no ult. He has no flash. And Janna is dead at the hands of Tristana, but Mundo will get the double kill onto the Cho'Gath. Now the Xerath ult is coming down. Tristana fighting with the Mundo, but having a hard time getting away. She will ult him away, but no flash available for the Tristana. No heal. Mundo Cleaver comes out. She's slowed so much. Great stun from Kite Xerath, but still on the chase, and Tristana will get away. So many slows, so much damage coming out from the Mundo and the Nunu combo. So chaotic fight there. Winds up with nobody getting the Rift Herald. And a 2 for 2 overall. So it looks like both teams will just reset on the map here.
Only an 800 gold difference. Becky's Babes clearly having closed the gap somewhat with the Tristana. Definitely someone who, as we said, was probably going to be one of the focuses of this game, and she clearly is turning out to be with a 5-0-1 score. And is going to have a 2,300 gold difference over their AD carry, even.
We could have some action here. A lot of damage down the Janna. The shield helps her a little bit. Could have a skirmish here. Both Cho'Gath and Mundo absent. Just a 4v4 here in the mid lane. But Cho'Gath is coming up. Nunu's going to run right into him. They're going to spot him. Nunu could be cut out here. He does not have flash for a little bit longer. Warwick ult comes out. Smite comes out. Shield from Orianna. But Tristana jumps in. Nunu ults, but it's not enough. And Xerath will pick up the kill. So Nunu kind of caught against a wall. They are investigating the top river. And Becky's Babes will pick up the kill. Down 300 gold, actually. But now they're going to pressure this turret with a one-man advantage. Tristana bomb comes out, but they're doing their best to clear the waves for the side of Jeb Stewart Waiders. Draven ult comes down. They got to be careful of that Cho'Gath Devour. We saw Lucio's Orianna fall to it in the last fight near Becky's Babes blue buff. Great stun from Xerath. Draven's going to be careful, though. Galaxy has no flash. He uses the heal, but... and he'll have to use the stopwatch here. Good ult from Janna, but Galaxy is going to be in trouble, and Bilbo Spraggins picks up the kill on the Tristana. So once again, a member of Jeb Stewart Waiders just caught out there. Both teams dancing around here. 5v4 once again. Nunu is back now. Getting pushed away a little bit. Looks like Jeb Stewart's kind of wants this fight. They can see that Becky's is kind of low on mana. Ooh, but Orianna has to flash away. She gets exhausted. A lot of damage coming out onto the Mundo. Now Jebs are back on the retreat. Xerath Q comes out and takes down Janna with the snipe. Specs is gone. Excellent shot by Kite there. He's continuing to dish out the damage onto Jebs, and now their ping's coming out in the Infernal. This is looking like a double Infernal. We'll see if Jebs will respond, but they're not in a good position to do so. They'll start hitting it, and this will be a free Infernal to the side of Becky's Babes. So double Infernal. Ayo, how dangerous is this for the side of Becky's Babes?
A third Infernal as well, with the high damage that Xerath brings, along with the really fed Tristana. These two carries can be devastating with those 3 Infernals once it comes to late game. And there's almost no better mid laner to siege down than there is Xerath. And no better ranged AD carry than Tristana to siege this down safely. The Jeb Stewart Waiders may want to try to get this Infernal immediately as soon as it spawns, in order to try to prevent Becky's base from getting it. I think it's lethal.
Absolutely. So they will take the blue buff away for the side of Spexes on Stewart Waiders. Good damage coming out from the Draven. You gotta be careful though. Worth keeping in mind, only a 500 gold lead for the side of Becky's Babes. Still a neck-and-neck game, but the double Infernal, as AO said, extremely fearsome for Becky's Babes. Stewart Waiders have got to be careful of that damage buff. Worth a significant amount of gold on its own is the Infernal bonus. Looks like some backs coming out from both teams. We'll see. We could have some fights breaking out here in the mid lane. They got a 3v3 right now. Make that a 4v3. Draven is not there. Stewart Waiders have got to be careful. Poke damage coming down onto Lucio's Orianna from Kite's Xerath. Knight's Vow actually purchased by Mundo to help Lucio's Orianna. So that'll come down. Looks like he's going for the Thorn Mail next. So that Mundo getting very tanky. He is 4-1 with 146 CS. Good lead there in the top lane. Still up a little over 2,000 gold over the Cho'Gath for Sayonara's Mundo. He's got to be feeling good, but overall, looks like Becky's Babes have the tempo right now. They're looking to siege this mid lane. Remember, Baron is on the table right now, 21 minutes into the game. Slowly but surely doing some poke damage down onto this mid lane turret. Both teams still dancing around the mid lane. Draven backed. Draven is on his way back. We'll see if they get a fight here. Draven has basically joined him. Ooh, excellent Orianna Shockwave. So much damage. The Lulu ult comes down, but the Draven ult will pick up Becky. She is gone. Janna is so low, but the Janna ult is enough. They're on the chase. The Lulu ult's about to expire. Tristana ult away. Knock the Mundo back. Mundo flashes. Draven flashes. Warwick has to ult away. Now Nunu flashes. The ult flashes all around. The entirety of Becky's base flashes. They're on the chase of Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath has no flash remaining, of course, and he will die. Janna picks up the kill. Specs getting the well-deserved kill, and they're going to rotate to Baron now with 2 picks. So Stewart Waiders getting just the kind of fight they wanted. 700 gold lead, that's only going to increase, but we have to remember Koopa Star's Warwick is up. This could be a smite battle, but Nunu's Consume is going to be very dangerous. Spex's Jet is going to be careful. He's so low. The Xerath ult will not kill him, and now Stewart Waiders will turn and try to chase down the Warwick. Oh, but the Tristana will catch the Janna. Wow, walks right by the bush, but the shield from the Orianna is enough.
Tristana almost missing that one too.
Absolutely. Unfortunately for Stewart Waiders, they actually peel off the Baron and don't get it. Missed Orianna Shockwave, but now Bill Spraggins is in a lot of trouble. We'll see who picks up the kill here. It's going to be the Orianna. Bomb onto her, but it's not going to do too much. So yet another kill picked up by Stewart Waiders. They now have an almost 2k gold lead, but they don't get the Baron. They're pinging it once again, though, but Warwick is up now. They're at least taking the scuttle, and Draven is starting it. Warwick is around. They know that. They've got vision. Lucio comes out, stunned onto Mundo from Xerath. Good poke damage onto the Mundo. He'll heal it up pretty quick, though. He is Mundo. We'll have to see what happens next. A lot of vision for both teams onto that Baron, and nobody's taking it just yet. We saw Stewart Waiders start it and then peel off. Both teams have got to have their eye on it. Still a close game. Only 2.5k up for the side of Stewart Waiders. We will see if this develops into a bigger lead, or if that Baron perhaps is the trigger for a bit of a comeback from Becky's Babes. Remember, if Becky's Babes can win this, they will win the tournament. But Stewart Waiders do not want that to happen. They want to win this Game 3 and take this to another best of 3. And if they win that, then they will win the tournament. So getting some vision down onto that third Infernal, which is up in 45. That could be the next objective these teams are looking at. Both teams still dancing around the mid lane. Cleaver hits from Mundo onto Xerath. Now 5 members strong. Stewart Waiders is pushing down the mid lane and now heading into Becky's Babes' red side jungle. Looks like they're going to look to get some vision down this Infernal. Now rotating back to mid lane. Pings around the Infernal. Remember, it's up in 15 seconds. Actually heading up towards the Baron now. They're kind of split. Not sure if this is a miscommunication or what exactly they're doing, but they are definitely split right now. Good poke damage from the Orianna onto the Tristana. A lot of damage with the Leandru, who's still burning her there.
Just trying to throw a ward down over on Baron, make sure that they're not doing it, but Jebster's Waiders definitely doing what we thought they would and try to keep this third Infernal away.
They are indeed. Looks like they're going to try to pick it up right now, and they will. So Nunu secures that Infernal, so only one Infernal advantage in favor of Becky's Babes now.
Wind Dragon is up next. Crucial for both of these junglers. And quite crucial, in my opinion, for Cho'Gath and Dr. Mundo equally.
They do want to be chasing those people down. We'd love to have that Wind Drake damage.
Right in that fight immediately.
So Xerath pretty low, but continuing to dish out the poke. We'll see. Nuna coming in for something of a flank. Oh, we'll see what he does here. Just ease the Cho'Gath and backs away. Now Jeb's kind of sieging this mid turret. We'll see. Great wave clear from the side of Becky's Babes, as we mentioned before. Difficult to siege on them. Now Jebs will kind of back away, it looks like. So continuing to just have these 5v5s, 4v4s here in the mid lane between these two teams. They've been content to do that for a while. Not much happening besides the Infernal take by the side of Jebs. But now Draven is in the side lane, as is Orianna, and they'll pick up that mid turret for the side of Becky's Babes. That'll bring the gold lead down to only 1.5k. Nuna all comes down, not going to hit anybody. Mundo looking to go in, but can't quite get through that Cho'Gath Warwick front line. So Becky's Babes will pick up a turret and equalize those turrets, a 3-3, basically free of charge. Still a 1.5k gold lead for the side of Jebs, Stewart, Waiders. And that Tristana, just a tower-taking machine we are seeing. Getting a little bit more damage onto that bot lane inner turret. Some ping is coming down on Baron. Koopa Star is around there. We could have action here, though. 3v2. Lula all comes down onto Xerath. A lot of damage down on the Mundo. They've got to be careful. Bilboswagon's W is away. He will get away. So much damage coming out on the Xerath and Tristana, so much, the Janna all comes down to heal him, and now Mundo is on the chase. Heal comes out from the Tristana, shield comes out from the Lulu, but they're still chasing, flashes forward, so much damage coming out, another heal comes out from the Xerath, and Bilboswagons will pick up the kill onto the Mundo. So many low health bars, but in the end, they go too far. Oh, but now Lucio's Orianna is here. He's going to be looking for the kill onto Xerath. He'll get it, but he will get counter-killed by the Tristana. And now Warwick is here. They could be looking to chase. W forward aggressively from Bilboswagons, but he's got to be careful. He's so low. The Nunu ult does a ton of damage, but Warwick will kill the Draven, and Warwick will kill the Janna, and Cho'Gath will eat the Nunu. So they lose the Xerath for the side of Becky's Babes, but they get an ace on Jeb Stewart Waiders. So a back and forth. First, it looked like Jebs wanted that fight. They did the chase, but in the end, they pay for it. They chase too far. They lose the Mundo. They lose that front line. And then when the reinforcements come in, when the Orianna comes in and picks off the Xerath, then gets crushed immediately. Just too much of a counter fight, really, there from the side of Becky's Babes. No menu mave here. They're going to try to get this top turret, or bot turret, sorry. But no, they're going to back away, actually. Mundo is enough to ward them off of it. So both teams content to reset for now.
Baron is still up. It's an option for both of these teams.
Indeed. Actually, almost 30 minutes, and we have not had a Baron get taken yet. Just been the Drakes. Good poke damage coming out from the Xerath. Ooh, Orianna ult connects, though. Good trade here. Stun comes out from Xerath. Q comes out from Xerath. And the ult is going to come, and oh, Orianna could be in trouble here. Good sidestepping. And she'll use the Q. Oh, and the Q just barely connects from Xerath. Nunu is on the chase, but good stun here. Nunu's still chasing, and Nunu will back off. So kites Xerath with a good solo kill onto Lucio's Orianna there with the Xerath ult. And then picking him off finally with the Q to get that last sliver of health. Ping is coming out around Baron. Both teams nearby. We'll see what happens. Becky's could be looking to push that 5v4 advantage and turn that into a Baron. Also putting pressure onto this top lane turret. Draven is there to wave clear. He does have the static shiv, so a decent amount of wave clear for that side of Jeb's, Stewart, Waiders. But all of Becky's Babes is rotating towards the top lane here. They could be looking to take that. Looks like that's their objective. They may want to tower dive here. They might want this fight. So much here with Tristana, and Xerath picks up the kill. And then immediately Warwick ult and Draven is killed. Nunu is running, but you gotta assume he'll fall. Tristana jumps in and double kill with Tristana. Great Orianna ult, but it's not enough. Xerath stun comes out. Orianna stopwatches, but this gives Jeb, Stewart, Waiders time to, Becky's Babes time to position themselves to pick up the kill. So 4 kills now for the side of Becky's Babes. Meanwhile, Sayonara on the Mundo will pick up this inner turret in the mid lane, but at what cost? They get that top turret for the side of Becky's Babes, and it looks like they'll get the Baron. Sayonara will continue to push. We'll see how far he can get.
Baron overstep on the side of Janna and Draven, knowing that they were nearby, knowing that they were looking for some kind of engage. Mundo pushed back too.
Yeah, looks like he'll get out of there just fine. The Xerath ult peels him off. So still 4-4 in turrets, but an almost 4k gold lead now for the side of Becky's Babes. Definitely a back-and-forth game, very close competitive one. Just what we like to see. Mundo on the run right now. Looks like he'll get away just fine. Xerath there to catch that giant wave in the bot lane. Nope, Tristana wants a piece of it too.
Definitely makes me want to root for Jebster, Stewart, Waiders, just so we can get some more games coming out from both these teams.
Absolutely. These have been so much fun to watch, and of course, any way we can get more League of Legends action, we are always rooting for that. But so far, Becky's Babes playing that fight very well, doing a great job these last few team fights and taking objectives. They finally pick up our first Baron of the game. They've got that double Infernal. Very dangerous right now. Jebster Waiders has got to be careful. Pressuring this bot lane turret now with the Baron buff, but playing safe on the side of Becky's Babes. Cho'Gath is on the way, but he's not there quite yet. That big beefy front line, they got to wait for him. Xerath continuing to dish out the poke damage. Backs forced upon the Janna and the Orianna, who are both very low. And they pick up that bot lane turret, inner turret, easily. And now they're pressuring that inhib turret. We'll see what happens. Xerath continuing to dish out the damage. Siege just so difficult to deal with, just like you predicted, AO, with the double Infernal. So much damage dished out. So hard for Jebster Waiders to contend. Almost a 5k gold lead built up now for the side of Becky's Babes. Oh, fantastic Orianna ult. Xerath is melted. Tristana W's it aggressively, but the entire team of Jebster Waiders is on the hunt. She's trying to peel away. She's trying to jump back, and she will get away, but all of Jeb's is right there. They get the Xerath kill, and they're on the hunt. They force Becky's Babes back. Great defense there from Jebster Waiders. Fantastic Orianna ult, and Galaxy on the Draven is quick to respond and melt the Xerath. He had no chance. Not sure if the heal was up, but he had no chance to use it, and he is melted. So that'll stymie that push from Becky's Babes for now. Good reset on the map for Jebster Waiders.
Exactly what they need with 4 people having Barons still. And a sizable amount of it on there. They need to try to push out these waves so it takes longer for those Baron minions to siege them down. The Wind Dragon, or the Cloud Dragon, is up. And this should be the last. This is the last dragon that we will see that provides a certain buff. Important to both the top laners and junglers for either team to try to sneak their way into an engage. Curious to see which team will try to prioritize that.
For sure. Still a very close game. Only a 3K gold lead, slightly over for the side of Becky's Babes right now. Baron buff now gone. We'll see what they do. Looks like they're going to pick up this Cloud Drake. No Nunu around to contest, so they'll pick it up no problem. Could be a fearsome Elder Drake if Becky's Babes does pick that up in the future. Ujana almost cut out. Stun miss from Xerath. A lot of damage coming out. He might ult. He might get her, and he does. So much damage from the Xerath with the double Infernal, with the Void Staff and the Leandries. Just hard to deal with when you're just a defenseless Janna, and specs will fall. Now a 5v4 on the map. We'll see what happens. We'll see if Becky's Babes can turn this into something. Decent wave clear from both sides. We'll see who can get the better. So far, there's been some interesting team fights, some good engages, some excellent Orianna ultimates from Lucio. We'll see if that happens again. We'll see who gets the better of these team fights. So far, just wave clearing on the side of Stewart Waiders. They're keeping them off that turret until Janna can get back up and equalize those numbers. Remember, the Janna Peel, Janna Ultimate, Janna Shield can be very valuable for these teams. Or rather, can be very valuable for Stewart Waiders, can be very annoying for the side of Becky's Babes. So far, continuing the siege in the mid lane. We'll see if they can try to get some of this damage down onto the turret. Tristana is in the bot lane, though.
It is interesting to note the difference between these two AD carries. 5,000 gold difference, to be exact. Tristana looking almost to be full build, having 2.7k in her pocket, easily able to buy any item that she wants to reach that full build status. Draven sitting on 300 only, having one small item and an empty slot. Definitely a huge difference when it comes down to who's bringing out the more physical damage on these sides.
Absolutely. Bilbo Swaggins 10, 1, and 6. 295 CS. Oh, Xerath really low here. Could be cut out. No, the Redemption will heal him up. They're going to peel away. Get some poke damage down onto that Mundo, but the Locket is popped by the side of Stewart Waiders, by the Mundo. So very supportive Mundo build. He's got the Knight's Eye, he's got the Locket, and they have the Redemption and the Ardent Censer and the Mikhails from the Janna. So a lot of supportive items being built up there for the side of Stewart Waiders. As you said, they're 10, 1, and 6 on Tristana. Massive advantage for Bilbo Swaggins right there. I remember this guy, you know, showing off on the jungle, on the Jarvan, on the Lee Sin in the last tournament. Now playing ADC, and as you said, you mentioned this might be a game where bot lane gets its chance to shine. Looks like that's exactly what we're getting. Now the Tristana is the carry. This isn't the story of mid-jungle so much anymore. It's the story of the Tristana, the story of Bilbo Swaggins, and can he carry these fights? That's the real question here. And on the other side, I'm watching Lucio on the Orianna. He's had some very clutch Orianna shockwaves. Can he come up with another one? Remember, only a 3k gold lead. This could go either way. Both teams dancing around the Baron now. Looks like that could be the next focus. Baron is live. Vision for both teams. We'll see what happens. Nunu is backing, but Cho'Gath and Tristana are not there. Could be a window here for Becky's Babes if they know to try to start this Baron while Nunu's not nearby. Looks like they won't just yet. Orianna.
Plenty of cleared vision from the side of Becky's Babes, though.
Absolutely. Orianna picking up that Banshee's Veil has the Zanyas. A lot of peel, self-peel, basically.
Bottom wave is pushing for Becky's Babes. Orianna is going to answer this. Will be a 4v5.
Ooh, good opportunity to take Baron. They got to be careful, though. Nunu has Flash, and he does have the Consume. Oh, and we appear to have a pause. Mundo has disconnected.
The Mundo accidentally put the syringe in the wrong place. Please stand by while we seek actual doctor professionality here.
I'm actually going to take this opportunity to be right back.
And now our main caster is also going to the local site of Mundo in order to try to look at this problem here. Vestborger, our main caster, clearly a licensed physician, but only to private clients from fictional video games. So, as again is a common question in the chat, and understandably, we are seeing the grand finals between Becky's Babes and Jeb's Stewart Waiders, if you're just joining us. And we are looking at game number 3, both sides 1-1. Becky's Babes taking a clear and decisive victory during game 1. But the return is true for game 2 for Jeb Stewart Waiders. Jeb Stewart Waiders during this third game has taken a sizable early game lead, but Becky's Babes, holding on to their title as tough as they can, have been able to put it at an even game for the past, I would say, 20 minutes or so. If Becky's Babes can manage to pull off the win here, they will be no more games, and they will be crowned the champions of the Party Brawl 4. But if Jeb Stewart Waiders can pull off the victory here, there will be another best of 3. So if they manage to win, we may see 2 or 3 games after. So a lot on the line, more so for Jeb Stewart Waiders. But as we can see, both teams fighting with everything that they got, cannot expect that this will be over easily. The Infernal Dragon, or not Infernal, rather Elder Dragon, looking to be up in 1:42. Baron live right now. And it looks like Mundo has reconnected. Vest has seen to the issue, is provided a sufficient antidote.
I'm back. What?
I told the viewers that you were the licensed physician that we got to go seek medical attention for Mundo.
Ah.
And that you have come back bearing good results, I assume.
Well, I've come back with mixed feelings, of course. I'm glad to have not missed any of the action, but I am, of course, eager to see the game resume. This has been such a close, tight, competitive game so far. Very fun to watch, and, oh, actually looks like we do have an unpause, so, yes, all thanks to me. You're welcome. And we are back in the game.
Dr. Vestborger.
Of course. So, some action around the Baron here.
And the red team gets the Baron!
So, I just lagged out that whole time. I'm at 39:43 right now, 39:44.
Nunu falls down. Mundo is getting killed as well.
And Nunu with the Baron steal gets the smite.
You are behind me.
Cho'Gath gets the ult. Tristana picks up the kill. Now, Becky's Babes is still on the hunt, though. Looks like Jeb Stewart Waiders will get the kill. Wow, with the Zerathol snipes Jana. W4 from Bill's Wagons, but I think Oriana and Draven will be okay. But 3 kills for the side of Becky's Babes. Of course, Jeb Stewart Waiders does pick up the Baron, but at what cost? It looks like they could lose multiple inhibitor turrets for it. Yep. I'm at 40, 27, 28, 29.
Yeah, we're synced up.
Okay.
I was wondering why you weren't saying anything again.
Yeah, I got some lag. So it looks like they're going to try to end. Wow, so much damage there. And Xerath picks up the kill on Oriana. W4 from Tristana, and Draven has got as well. That is the ace. Nunu is back up right now, but the Nexus turrets are falling. The ult will come out from Lulu. They're still hitting that tower. Tristana just firing away. The other Nexus turret is going to fall. 3 members up for the side of Jeb Stewart Waiders, though. This could be game. A lot of damage going on the Xerath. Xerath has to heal. Suppressed from Warwick. Nunu ult comes out. Mundo and Nunu so tanky, but they're going to hit the Nexus. Nexus is almost gone. They've got to peel them away. The Nexus is going to fall, and it will. That is GG. Becky's Babes will win Game 3 of the series over Jeb Stewart Waiders, and because of that, they will win the grand finals. They will win the tournament. They will become the winners of Party Brawl 4.
The champions.
Exactly.
GG Jeb Stewart Waiders, GG Becky's Babes. Close games.
Absolutely. Definitely a extremely fun Game 3 to watch. Both Game 1 and Game 2, sort of domination snowballing out of the mid lane of the jungle from both teams. Game 3, we saw very close. We saw the Baron steal. Great work from Spexies to get that Baron steal on the Nunu. But then getting 3 kills with the side of Becky's Babes, and they just push it all the way to the Nexus. Excellent games played by both these teams overall, and of course, Jeb Stewart Waiders, incredible for them to even get here, making their way all the way through the gauntlet of the losers bracket into these grand finals, taking us to a fantastic Game 3, but Becky's Babes remain undefeated series-wise. Of course, they did drop the game here, but they close it out and become champions, party servers, hometown champions of the tournament. Overall, just an excellent game from them. Of course, we do have to, pick out our MVP of this game. Who do you think, Ao?
Well, considering that the champions of the entire Party Brawl country have finally shown themselves here, Bilbo Swaggins finally picking up a carry-style role. We saw, of course, Xerath not falling behind, and Cho'Gath falling a little bit behind early game, and Warwick most certainly falling behind to the Nunu counter jungling. I'm going to have to throw it over to the Tristana for not only remaining stable during the first minutes of the game, but finally getting a lead throughout the mid game and being what I think to be the key reason why they were able to stay so far ahead of this game, being full build by the end of the game and being a devastating force. Losing out, of course, to the Xerath in damage due to Xerath having such a long range poke and being a terrifyingly effective cure. But I'm going to throw it over to Tristana. And if I had to pick a series MVP, I would probably have to throw that one over to Kite for being stable on the Xerath for here, not really losing lane, but definitely being a strong mid laner for them throughout.
You know, if I could, I would give the MVP to the entirety of Becky's Babes, because for me, I saw their whole team were on the same page, moving as a 5-man unit or setting up a 1-3-1, always seem to be making those macro plays, great communication, you can tell without even being able to hear the voice comms, you can see it there on the map, good vision control, love to see that. So if I could, MVP to the whole team. Of course, the tradition is we have to pick somebody, and I'm going to have to agree with AO here. Bilbo Swaggins, absolutely, for this game in particular, really just carried the game, got crazy fed in that Tristana. You know, obviously Tristana is a champion where you can W in aggressively, and, you know, it either that can turn into the ace for your team or immediately dying and question mark pings from your team. And we saw pretty much only the former this time, and overall 12-1-9 Tristana. We check out those damage charts for you guys. We see 37,000 damage from the Tristana, so really out-damaging anyone on Jeb Stewart Waiders. So excellent work there from Bilbo Swaggins for the series. For me, I think I'm going to actually have to give my series MVP to Koopa Star. I know he had a challenging game on the Nunu, but he was just so unstoppable on the Evelynn in that Game 1, helping the Aurelia, helping Kite get fed. And then in Game 3 on the Warwick, again, looked like he got that setback early on where Spaxy's flash smited him, got to level 2 first, and really added disadvantage and then coming back, which is something we always like to see. You know, if you get set back but you don't tilt or anything like that, you come back later in the game and set up advantages, and I thought he really helped carry a lot of those late game team fights with some key Warwick ults and fears. Overall, just excellent player, playing around the map very well. So congratulations to him, and congratulations to Becky's Babes on winning Party Brawl 4.
The entire Party Brawl nation will be, or entire Party nation will be definitely looking at them to return for a possible Party Brawl 5.
Absolutely. I am eager to see Party Brawl 5 for sure, and in future tournaments around, perhaps on the WA server as well. I'm eager to see any of these teams participate. It was so much fun to watch them, so much fun to cast them. With that, unfortunately for us, that is all the League of Legends action for the day. But we did get a lot of it. We did get to see some exciting moments, some Baron steals, some aces, some excellent team fighting, some good macro play, everything you could want here in Party Brawl 4. So I would just like to say thank you to everybody for watching, listening. Thank you to all the players and participants in the tourney. Thank you to Becky and the organizers for setting this up. And yeah, I believe that's all the thank yous. So yeah, anything else you want to say, AO, before you sign off?
I hate Evelyn.
As demonstrated in Game 1 of this series, you can check the VOD if you didn't see it. If you need a reason to hate Evelyn, there's definitely a couple there in that Game 1. With that in mind, thank you again to everybody. And from me, Vestburger, from Aodor, we are done. Congratulations again to Becky's Babes on winning Party Brawl 4. And we will see you all at the next tournament. Good night.